will generate in ticket sales and advertising won't pay the city back for its investment. The NFL franchise pays neither rent nor property taxes. In addition to its portion of the stadium itself, Atlanta shelled out $30 million in sales tax breaks for construction, $24 million in land value, and a yet undetermined sum to build the elaborate snake-like bridge above the four-lane Northside Drive. The bridge's budget ballooned from 12.8, approved by Atlanta City Council, to 23.3, including more than $6 million for customizable LED strip lighting. So it's just another story, just sort of the backstory of this. And by the way, that's still, those overruns pale in comparison to that Burn interchange.
Oh, yeah. How's that going? What Quinn did to try and get female votes. We're going to name this Jane Byrne interchange.
Yeah.
Democrats care about women.
Well, the naming thing is the least of the problems. The larger problem is the cost and the fact that it's taking longer to build than it did for us to rebuild Japan after World War II. But
how's that bicycle bridge by your house doing?
We're still working on it.
Yeah, it's like the Golden Gate, which will take longer.
It's already taken longer than the Golden Gate Bridge. It's already taken longer than the Golden Gate Bridge. But the whole subsidizing sports stadiums issue should always be introduced in these conversations when you actually have people paying attention, which is rarely. Robert in Oak Brook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, the only thing that I really noticed was that there was a whole lot of empty seats in that stadium. The camera would not pan on most of the areas because literally, I'm going to say half that stadium was empty.
Really?
No, I
didn't
completely
see that.
disagree.
Go back and watch it.
Well, the cutaway shots that I saw, it was filled
thanks,
to even the upper deck was filled with people. So, and it was all Patriot fans. Literally, those three guys that they showed crying, when the Rams beat the Saints, those three guys were still there with their Rams jerseys on, and there's nobody else there.
Still crying.
Still crying.
Maybe all those seats were emptied out because they were all the extras that had to pretend like they liked Adam Levine when he was on stage.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the people
they brought
that
him down
bought.
to the field and.
So my friend went to Pritzker's inauguration or his big party that he paid for himself and said Maroon 5 was more exciting at that than they were during the halftime yesterday.
Well, what's the difference?
They just said it was so boring.
What about when Adam Levine ripped off his shirt to reveal his California tattoo across his abdomen?
When with your too tatted, that's a definition of too tatted. That's not even hot. I don't care how ripped he is, if he has the MyPillow 4-pack or the 6-pack. It's not a good look. There's too much. It's too busy. Okay? That's your public service announcement.
All right. I won't get that tattoo I was looking at then.
And then it's so stupid. 17 million people calling sick after the Super Bowl. You calling sick for that game? That game was like football Ambien. It should have put you to sleep so you get a good night's rest and wake up and be productive today.
Yeah, if only the Rams would have woken up.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Ralph Northam's bizarre press conference on Saturday afternoon, moonwalking right out of the political scene, Ralph Northam at 5:38.
And later when his wife stepped in to help. And also President Trump, why he doesn't want Barron to play football. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
47 degrees. It's 529 on AM 560. The Answer. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam remains in office this morning, but it's getting even more pressure to resign over a racist photo that surfaced on Friday.
We've had ample opportunity as lieutenant governor during the Charlottesville incident and many other times prior to now to disclose that he has changed his ways.
On ABC's This Week, that's NAACP President Derek Johnson. Some friends are arguing, though, that it would be better for him to stay.
There's a rush to judgment before we know all of the facts and before we've considered all of the consequences.
Congressman Jim Moran, picture from Northam's 1984 medical school yearbook shows one man in blackface and another wearing a KKK robe. President Trump is teasing big announcements in his State of the Union address.
I won't tell you yet, but you'll be finding out probably State of the Union or shortly before.
During an interview on CBS's Face the Nation, the president declined to share details about his upcoming meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un or whether he will declare a national emergency at the U.S.-Mexico border. General Motors to start making layoffs that it announced in November. The auto giant will lay off 4,000 salaried workers today. Health officials are warning that those who attended the North American International Auto Show in Detroit last month may have been exposed to rubella, sometimes called the German measles. Michigan Department of Health and Human Services says another state is reporting a resident who attended that show January 13th through the 15th has come down with the illness. After not running for several days because of cold weather and a freight train derailment, this morning Metra electric trains are moving on the tracks again, but with limited service starting on Sunday, there are still repairs to be made farther south. And the South Shore line, which was also shut down because of the cold, has started up again as well yesterday. 2 were killed, multiple others injured in a shooting at a Southside bar overnight Sunday. The dead have been identified as Marvin Powell and Jeremy Carruthers. A woman is in very critical condition after an early morning house fire on Chicago's west side. The blaze broke out in the 1800 block of South Peoria. The female victim taken to Stroger Hospital, suffering from severe burns. Chicago sports, the dynasty continues. Patriots winners of the lowest scoring Super Bowl ever, with the defense coming up big in a win over the Rams, 13-3. Ricky Fowler stumbled to a 3/74 Sunday in the final round, but held on to win the Phoenix Open by 2 strokes. College hoops, UIC a win over first place Northern Kentucky in the horizon. Tomorrow, Drake will be at Loyola. Illinois State hosting Valparaiso, and Northern Illinois hosting Ball State. 5:32 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher says you have to pick your battles.
I'd like to believe the American people will see right through this and see that it's Pelosi who's canceling the State of the Union. Pick the hill you want to die on. You want to die on Trump besting Nancy Pelosi over the State of the Union? Or do you want to deal with border security that includes a wall? A State of the Union is one night. Border security and a wall is forever.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's a fact. Workmen's compensation makes companies less productive and less profitable. It becomes more complicated with every amendment by the legislature. It's an increasing burden on employers. It's important that your company identify the risks and do everything possible to minimize your exposure. For more than 3 decades, the firm of Spiegel and Cahill, a food for the poor business benefactor of AM 560, has effectively represented businesses and insurance companies in Illinois and Indiana with workmen's compensation defense. The attorneys understand and are sympathetic to the real burden your company faces. They excel at helping you minimize the payouts and pursue alternatives to litigation. You'll work with one attorney, and the Spiegel and Cahill team is committed to being responsive and managing costs. To learn more or request a no-obligation workman's comp consultation, call Spiegel and Cahill, the workman's comp defense professionals in Hinsdale at 630-455-4070, or visit defendingbusinesses.com. That number again, 630-455-4070, or online at defendingbusinesses.com. For more than 50 years, Mueller CPA, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm, has been serving clients in Chicagoland. Dave Nissen, Mueller's managing partner, is here to explain Mueller CPA's history, journey, and opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Our firm was started by Al Mueller as a one-person CPA firm in 1968. Through growth and partnerships, Mueller CPA has blossomed from a regional firm to an organization that provides services worldwide. Mueller is a reflection of our years of listening and caring for our clients, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for our professionals and support personnel. We value the human side of our business and recognize it as being the most important element of our success. We are growing, we are hiring, and we welcome your interest in our firm.
If you are looking for your first opportunity or your forever career, join an award-winning team that cares about you. Visit the career page at MuellerCPA.com or call Dave directly at 630-524-5274.
5:35, and let's get a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Expressways blocked at Pulaski. Investigation of an overnight wreck. car slammed into an IDOT vehicle. Delays start around Kedzie. Traffic is diverted off the outbound Stevenson to Pulaski and can re-enter using the Pulaski entrance ramp. Inbound, there's some congestion in that area, looking at about 36 minutes to 355 Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Rock, stop and go 87th to 71st. Earlier crash cleared. It's 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 19 minutes to I-80 to merge. Got a crash reported at Cicero. Metro Electric and South Shoreline trains are back on the rails and on schedule. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte.
Chicago's Morning Answers continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Low clouds and fog with occasional rain and drizzle today. A very mild day. 52 for a high temp. Cloudy, breezy, colder, low 28. Overnight, partly sunny, breezy, much colder. Freezing rain about the time you're heading home tomorrow. High 31. And tomorrow night, a low of 26. 47 at O'Hare, 50 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
Dan and Amy, good morning. I know one Democrat statewide office holder not running for president in 2020. His name's Ralph Northam. He's the Virginia governor for now. And on Friday, it was revealed that back when he was in med school in the 80s, he liked to participate in some material way in dressing up in blackface. And he initially apologized for this photo from his yearbook. What happens when the yearbook police come for the yearbook police, huh, Ralph?
Well, yeah, and then he said no, that picture was supposed to go on a different page. They got it wrong.
A picture of a guy in blackface and another guy dressed up as a member of the Klan. Those rascally med school students at Eastern Virginia U.
Well, and keep in mind, we're not talking about high school kids. We're talking about young adults. This is not a youthful indiscretion. This is a well thought out, planned thing. And he's trying to walk it back. So first, yeah, he said it was him, and then he said it wasn't. Goes on a different page, but then he admitted that he's dressed up like Michael Jackson.
So yeah, after he apologized on Friday, he had time to reflect on whether or not that was actually him. I mean, it's so hard to keep track of all the times you put on a hood or dressed in blackface. You got to give the guy 24 hours to think about it. So then him and his wife had a little press conference on Saturday after he had some time to think about it.
When my staff showed me the photo in question yesterday, I was seeing it for the first time. I did not purchase the EVMS yearbook, and I was unaware of what was on my page. When I was confronted with the images yesterday, I was appalled that they appeared on my page, but I believe then and now that I am not either of the people in that photo.
Right. So he, on Saturday, invoked the R. Kelly defense. That's not me.
Yeah, it was me.
That reversal calls for a little bit more explanation, so here it is.
I recognize that many people will find this difficult to believe. The photo appears with others I submitted on a page with my name on it. Even in my own statement yesterday, I conceded that, based on the evidence presented to me at the time, the most likely explanation that it was indeed me in the photo. In the hours since I made my statement yesterday, I reflected with my family and classmates from the time and affirmed my conclusion that I am not the person in that photo.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He got together a committee to confirm that it's not him.
And you know why? One of the reasons it's not him, because shoe polish, Dan, it takes a lot to get off. Once you put it on your face, it's hard.
I had the shoes, I had a glove, and I used just a little bit of shoe polish to put on my cheeks. And the reason I used a very little bit is because I don't know if anybody's ever tried that, but you cannot get shoe polish off.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
So
in regards to Michael Jackson,
this is his confusion, is because he did enter a dance contest in San Antonio in which he dressed up like Michael Jackson. And that was him describing the costume that he had.
They just wanted to beat it.
Yeah. And so we're wondering if Ralph Northam is going to look at the man in the mirror. He is asking now for an opportunity for forgiveness. He knows he has to earn trust back. He doesn't want to resign.
No, he's being very defiant. They had a meeting last night. They're having another meeting this morning. Last night he said no again.
You know why he won't resign?
Why? Dear?
Because he's courageous.
Oh.
Because resigning would be the easy way out, and it would prevent him from the need to have this painful conversation and this journey back to enjoying the trust of Virginians. That's the spin that he put on it.
Right now, I am simply asking for the opportunity to demonstrate beyond a shadow of a doubt that the person I was is not the man I am today. I am asking for the opportunity to earn your forgiveness. If I were to listen to the voices calling on me to resign my office today, I could spare myself from the difficult path that lies ahead. I could avoid an honest conversation about harmful actions from my past. I cannot in good conscience choose the path that would be easier for me in an effort to duck my responsibility to reconcile.
You understand? He is punishing himself by staying in office.
Oh, right. So this is his punishment, that he gets to stay.
And there's some other questions, too, about Northam's activities when he was a madcap med student, including this nickname that he earned, which I'm not going to repeat.
Squee? Was it Squee?
It was not Squee. And he was asked about this nickname and the genesis of it. And this was his response to that.
I had the shoes. I had my main nickname in high school and in college was Goose, because when my voice was changing, I would change an octave.
What about the other one?
There were two individuals, as best I can recollect, at VMI. They were a year ahead of me. They called me Coon Man. I don't know their motives or intent. I know who they are, but that was the extent of that, and it ended up in the yearbook, and I regret that.
And if you see his wife, his wife is crawling out of her skin when he's answering these questions. I mean,
let's just hold there for a second. So, two guys at VMI called me this name.
Horrible.
And I have no idea what their motivation was. I guess you'll have to ask them. But I do, on second thought, after reflection with my team, I do regret that nickname as well. Oh, boy. Should Ralph Northam resign? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
And just when you think it couldn't get worse, a reporter asked the questions about people of color.
Do you think as a grown adult that it's problematic that you need to have it explained to you that blackface is offensive?
No, I'm not a person of color. And people of color experience different things. It affects them different ways.
I mean, honestly, and his wife is sitting there going, make this end, please make this end. She looked so uncomfortable, and she wanted to cut him off when he was saying that.
But what everybody wants to know, at least in the D.C. press corps, can you still moonwalk?
Are you still able to moonwalk?
Inappropriate circumstances.
My wife says inappropriate circumstances.
He was about to flip and get up there and moonwalk, and she's the one who put the kibosh on it. I want to see it. You got the moves, you got the glove. Get on out there and dance.
I don't want to see Ralph Northam resign because...
Why?
He's
I want to see him dance.
Because he's an albatross around the neck of the identity politics obsessed Democrats.
Oh, and those running for president cannot separate themselves quicker or fastly enough from him. as they do. But Joe Biden, I mean, I don't know if he's going to run for president now because he was out on the campaign trail with him a few years back. So that would be a bit of a problem, I think.
What?
Yeah, for Joe Biden, there's video of those two together hanging out. He was with a lot of people who want to run for president in 2020.
Yeah. Kamala Harris tweeted out congratulations for defeating a racist and blah, blah, blah when Northam won. You think they all weren't in with this guy when he was running against Gillespie in 2017? Of course they were. You remember the ad that was run? We played it here.
Oh, can we play
The ad that was run against Gillespie on behalf of Northam that had the white guy in the pickup truck with the "Don't Tread on Me" front plate chasing little minority kids.
Is this what Donald Trump and Ed Gillespie mean by the American dream? Latino Victory Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
And at the end, as the little boy wakes up, and it was all just a bad dream of a white guy in a pickup truck chasing them down. I mean, it was so ridiculous and despicable, but that's the race hustling politics of the left. And now it's been turned on Ralph Northam. The same people who brought you our national obsession with Brett Kavanaugh's yearbook, and now it's been turned on them. So I tell you what, that's why I hope Northam continues to be defiant. I'm not sure he'll hold up under the pressure, but I hope he stays. Not because I condone what he did, not because I condone that bizarre, idiotic press conference he had on Saturday, but only as a symbol for who the Democrats really are, the hypocrites they are. Michael in Lake Forest, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. You know, there is this piece from August of 2017, I think, with the Como, who's on CNN, and Northam just absolutely trashing Trump
After
over Charlottesville.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, beyond comprehension. I mean, it was machetes, chainsaws, everything against Trump. And how can they do it?
Yeah, well, thanks for the call, Mike. Well, this is the whole thing. This is hoist by your own petard, although it's not even, I mean, to some extent it's that, but it's really what the left has always done, which is they project onto others who they are. They manufacture against others to hide the truth about themselves. Marty in Naperville.
Morning. Good morning, guys. Great show. Hey, you just can't make this stuff up. Between this and on the left, with this, and what happened with Jussie? Didn't they have a bunch of rallies
we'll
in
get to
New
that.
York and California? Whatever happened, I haven't heard a word about it.
No, he performed on Saturday. We'll have that for you.
You can't make this. You can't make this stuff up. It's hilarious. So
thanks,
that's
Marty.
all I want to say.
Thanks, Marty.
But Dan, when you look at the picture from his Eastern Virginia medical whatever,
it's not him.
No, it looks exactly like him. I don't know. His smile looks the same. Body shape looks the same. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's there and it's on his page.
Also, Diana Ross, did you see that? Diana Ross, second blackface photo in Northam yearbook. Photo of a man who appears to be in blackface dressed as a woman was in the same 84 yearbook as the photo of the man in blackface standing next to the man in the Ku Klux Klan robes. The second photo, found by the Virginian pilot in a copy of the 1984 Eastern Virginia Medical School yearbook, is captioned, "Whoever thought Diana Ross would make it to medical school?" Not immediately apparent who the photo was. So as Northam said at press conference, a lot of that was going on back in the day, all the way back in 1984, 35 years ago. when he was at med school. And so thus his confusion about which blackface picture belongs to him.
And there's a quote underneath the picture of him in blackface saying, "There are more old drunks than old doctors in this world, so I think I'll have another beer."
Jim in Warrenville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Actually, he's got a great PR man, because what he did is first he apologized for the picture, and then once he realized that was a time bomb, he just said, well, that's not me today. He's not denying that it's his picture. It's a Bill Clinton moment. Just parse your words a little bit. It's like, is. I think the guy, it was an interesting defense. Unfortunately, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But you'll have a great show.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate
and
it.
last night, Northam, the governor, invited top administration officials of color to a closed-door meeting, and not one person at the meeting said he should stay in office. But they were talking about racial issues and the release of this photo. Very strange.
He's not going to be able to apologize his way out of it. It's way beyond that. That's the thing. So many Democrats don't even understand where this is. Where you think this is survivable for him? Highly doubtful. Terry McAuliffe, former governor.
Oh, yeah.
He was on with Jake Tapper on CNN over the weekend after this. Here's what he said.
That photo that was in that yearbook was so offensive to the African-American community that I can't be in their shoes, and we've just got to get past this.
Yeah, and that he wants Northam to resign. Ken in Plainfield.
Yeah, I am a little tired of people being expected to apologize for something they did 35, 40 years ago when social norms were a little different. I mean, that was when I was in college, and none of us dressed up in blackface, but it was something that did go on back then. And to, expect to have to apologize for something you did 35, 40 years ago, I'm not running for any office. I'm just a simple truck driver. But I'd hate to have to apologize for some of my youthful indiscretions.
Well, I think that's a fair point, Ken. But the problem is, what's the standard that the left has set?
And I can see that, the tit-for-tat motive, okay, the left set that standard, so we should go after them. I just think it's wrong on both sides. And
yeah.
Like I said, I understand tit-for-tat, but it's just wrong to say something you did in college 35, 40 years ago should destroy what you are now. As me, as a father and a guy who supported my family, I'm 56 years old. For someone to come up and say, hey, you did this in college, so you're a scumbag? Judge me as a scumbag on my actions today, not what I did in college.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Thanks for the call, Ed.
How do they not know that is wrong? I mean, the way I was raised, in the neighborhood I was raised in, we would never paint our faces black.
Do you ever dress up as an Indian?
Well, for Indian Princesses, yeah, every Saturday.
Well,
I was Little Wildflower.
Indian Princesses was a culturally appropriating organization that's racist.
Well, that's why they don't have it anymore.
Well, and so you dressed up as an Indian princess, so
for years.
you're labeled for life. I think Ken in Plainfield has a good point. I really do. I just think that this is where we're at, and it's interesting to see where we're at, because you have some people rallying to the defense of Northam and saying, well, why shouldn't he be able to apologize and move on? I'm enjoying this because he was so craven in his use of identity politics for political purposes, for his own political advancement. So for him to be felled by the same seems to me to be justice. But in terms of the larger issue of should anybody who made an off-color joke or did something that was ignorant or certainly looks ignorant through the lens of 35 years of hindsight, should they be labeled for life as a racist or as some sort of scumbag, as Ken was saying? Is that fair? Is that the kind of society you want to live in? Ann in Chicago.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I think he was blackmailed, and whoever hid that picture until he signed that bill for the abortion, that's what I have against him. I don't have that 35-year-old picture against him, but he tried to present that abortion bill into legislation. That's what I have. He was able to be blackmailed for that. So that's what I...
Well, thanks for the call, Ann. Well, that's another great point is Ralph Northam, supporting infanticide, not a big deal. Dressing in blackface 35 years ago, an impeachable offense. That's also a sign of the times.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
With so many homeowners fearful of poor service and not knowing who to trust, home remodeling is often delayed. But do you ever wonder why so many remodeling experiences go so wrong? Advanced Design Studio thinks remodeling shouldn't be so painful. Will the project stay on budget and be done on time? If you're nervous about home remodeling, you're not alone. Whether you're contemplating a new kitchen or bath, want an addition to your home, or in need of a whole house transformation, Advanced Design Studio is the company to call. They understand your fears and know how to overcome them. Backed by 27 years of providing positive remodeling experiences, Advanced Design's client service process, called Common Sense Remodeling, puts you first, averting delays and budget overruns to produce a rewarding remodeling experience. Make 2019 the year you overcome your fears and remodel your home, bath, or kitchen. Don't be a bad remodeling story. Use common sense and visit AdvancedDesignStudio.com for more information or call 847-836-2600.
Hello, I'm Matthew Hickey from the Law Office of Matthew J. Hickey. In my 21 years of practice, I've seen a lot, learned a lot, and know who does what best. So, if you have a criminal matter from traffic issues to potential prison time, I'm your guy. If you or a loved one has been hurt, or worse, and you don't want to call a firm whose namesake faces a second federal trial in April, give me a call. My network of attorneys with years of experience and millions recovered will listen, inform, and help you through a difficult time, and are in no way affiliated with any ex-aldermen, soon-to-be federal inmates. You shouldn't have to compromise your principles when you need help. The justice system is designed to intimidate you. I'm here to even that score.
For ethical, informed legal representation, call Matt directly at 312-767-7631. That's 312-767-7631. Or go to his website, MatthewHickeyLaw.com, and send him an email. Remember, the best defense is the best defense attorney.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drug, get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialist will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain, find the source, and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other carriers. If you're over 50 and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage every month whether you want it or not. In Chicago, the least expensive PPO health insurance plan under the ACA will cost $572 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $7,900 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium to $278 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $294 a month and over $5,000 with my lower deductible. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Jussie Smollett felt good enough to perform in L.A. at 6:06.
And with the truth about that cracked rib. But here's Mike Scott.
A woman in critical condition following a Pilsen house fire. WIND, Chicago News Time, 6.
Again, I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It wasn't very exciting, but the outcome was awesome, so it's all okay.
Exactly. And not too exciting because the Patriots' 6th championship came in the lowest scoring Super Bowl ever.
It's being dubbed by some as the Snoozer Bowl. The
the lowest scoring game in Super Bowl history, posting a combined 16 points as the New England Patriots defeated the LA Rams 13-3. That's the lowest score for a winning team in the Super Bowl, as well as the fewest for a losing team. But for the Patriots, there were better records set on Sunday, tying the Pittsburgh Steelers for the most Super Bowl wins all time with 6. Tom Brady also became the winningest player in Super Bowl history. Pats receiver Julian Edelman took home Super Bowl MVP after raking in 10 receptions for 141 yards, the first receiver to win MVP in a decade.
That's Fox's Matt Napolitano, who was at the game in Atlanta. A medical school yearbook picture from 1984 has Virginia's governor facing growing calls to resign. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the picture of two people, one in blackface and one in a KKK uniform, has Democrats, including Virginia's 2 senators, calling on Ralph Northam to resign. After first acknowledging the photo, Governor Northam reversed course, telling reporters in Richmond,
I am not either of the people in that photo.
Former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe says he believes Northam will resign.
Ralph will do the right thing for the Commonwealth of Virginia. He will put Virginia first.
The Washington Post reports Northam called a meeting with senior staff last night, but he has not made a decision about stepping down. Dave?
Rachel, 5 people are dead in Yorba Linda, California, after a small plane broke apart in midair, then crashed. Debris fell onto a house, sparking a fire that killed 4 people inside. The pilot and the plane also died.
The debris field is about 4 blocks long. We're in the process of documenting the debris and the wreckage.
That's NTSB investigator Elliot Simpson. This is Fox News.
Skies this morning are cloudy, 47 degrees. 6:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A deadly 3-vehicle crash on the outbound Stevenson Expressway this morning. It's causing heavy traffic issues. Illinois State Police tell us early this morning a car veered onto the right shoulder near Pulaski. The vehicle then rear-ended an IDOT truck that was helping a taxi that was pulled over in front of it. After not running for several days because of cold weather and a freight train derailment, Metra electric trains are moving on tracks again. Service started on a limited basis Sunday. South Shore Line, which was also shut down last week because of the cold, is back up and running as well. 2 were killed, multiple others injured in a shooting at a Southside bar overnight Sunday. The dead have been identified as Marvin Powell and Jeremy Carruthers. There had apparently been a fight inside the bar before the shooting took place outside in the Grand Crossing section of the city. A woman is in critical condition after an early morning house fire on the west side. The blaze broke out in the 1800 block of South Peoria. The female victim hospitalized at Stroger Hospital, suffering from severe burns. Businesses and organizations with unsecured debts against Sears will begin making their case today in court. They're protesting Sears CEO Eddie Lampert's $5.2 billion buyout of the Hoffman Estates retailer. Chicago sports, lowest scoring Super Bowl ever, with the defense coming up big as the Patriots edged the Rams 13-3 in Atlanta.
I just felt like we needed to grind it out all night. You know, we couldn't take our foot off the gas pedal. We were playing a great football team, and they're explosive in all areas. You know, they got the 1 turnover. You know, they got a great team.
Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. Patriots now have 6 Super Bowl victories. Ricky Fowler stumbled to a 3/74 in Sunday's final round, but holds on to win the Phoenix Open by a couple of strokes. Blackhawks back in action when they visit the Oilers in Edmonton tomorrow. They've won 4 straight. The news service of Peloton, a game-changing indoor cycling bike that brings the energy of live studio classes right to your home anytime you want. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains why Pelosi won't sit down with the president.
The transformation of the Democratic Party into the radical socialist Democratic Party. It is the base. You want to know why Nancy Pelosi cannot sit down with Donald Trump? Because her base is going to take her speakership away.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios,
Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's been perfect for me for the last couple of years. I just did it for health. I'm not one of these people that have some kind of, issue or anything. I'm in good health and happy and can't complain. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's an easy-to-follow system. Just take the fruits with breakfast and the veggies with lunch, and away I go. So it's easy to do. It's much, much better than the old vitamins that I used to take. It does everything I need to do. I've stayed healthy. I haven't had a cold in 2 years, so I'm doing good.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once. Over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye with an absolutely free consultation. Text START to 350350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use advanced FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK for as low as $220 per eye. Text START to 350350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's START to 350350.
Winter or summer, rain or shine, with the Peloton bike, it's always the perfect weather to sweat. And with up to 14 live rides a day and over 10,000 more on demand, nothing will get between you and your workout. Learn more about the Peloton bike at onepeloton.com or visit your local showroom.
It is 6:09 and a check on the roads this morning in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
The outbound Stevenson remains closed at Pulaski for investigation to a major overnight wreck. Big jam starts at Western Avenue. Traffic is diverted off at Pulaski and can re-enter using the Pulaski entrance ramp. Inbound, there's a big delay to check it out. It is just a mess from before Harlem to Pulaski, looking at an hour from 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Edens is okay. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 26. Van Eisenhower, 35 minutes, 390 to downtown. Outbound 30. Ryan, 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 26. Tollways are okay. South Shore and Metro electric trains are running again. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
It'll be mild today. Occasional rain and drizzle, though. High 52. Clouds breezy and cold tonight. Low 28. Partly sunny, breezy. A cold day tomorrow. Freezing rain by nightfall. A high tomorrow, only 31. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
Updated temperatures at O'Hare 48, 50 along the lakefront, 47 at Midway. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Is it me, or does Jussie Smollett seem to be really enjoying all the press attendant to his alleged attack?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick question. Well, Saturday night was his first public performance, Dan, since the attack happened. And his agent, apparently, and his parents, family members were urging him not to go on. But, Dan, he's been cleared by a doctor in Chicago and in L.A. to perform.
Because he's a singer in addition to an actor.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, because they've never heard of him before last week.
And he said that he's the gay Tupac. That's what he joked around about that on Saturday night.
Here's Smollett on stage with, it turned out, the bruised rib. Not a cracked rib, as TMZ reported. Yeah. Bruised rib. Yeah, I mean, he was almost as good as the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah, it's actually pretty more exciting. It was an hour-long set, and after the set, he canceled his meet and greet with his fans, by the way, because, it's too much. He addressed the issue head on.
These last 4 days, I would not have been able to get through it without, obviously, my family, but also the love and support for all y'all.
Okay. And
more news, actual details on this. Rafer Weigel tweeting out Friday. According to Chicago police sources who spoke with Fox News Chicago, Smollett was seen on surveillance still holding his Subway sandwich when he returned to the building after the alleged attack.
So through it all, he held on to that foot long that he was looking for.
He had a grip on that foot long, and he wasn't going to release it.
Was it a 6-inch or was it the foot long? Do we know?
I haven't seen the tape.
Because I know if I'm attacked, I'm going to protect my food if I'm really hungry. But I thought it was very hypocritical of him, Dan, because he talked about, he's the victim here, and we all got to love one another.
In times of trauma or hurt or grief, we still have a responsibility to lead with love. And if we don't, then we just die inside.
Well, he should look at his own tweets. Last January 11th, he wrote a tweet responding to a President Trump tweet. Shut the blank up, you blank N-word. You will continue to run this country further into the ground and risk lives every time you breathe. You're not the president. Just a dumpster full of hate. Sick to my stomach, that literal blank currently represents America to the world. So you talk about love and kindness. That all he has been, the vitriol and the horrible negative rhetoric against President Trump. And I'm surprised they haven't pulled his Twitter account for that. Because people get their Twitter account pulled for a lot less infractions than that.
Yeah, the case itself, in order that we see resolution to this case one way or the other. Eddie Johnson saying on Friday detectives are, quote-unquote, making gains in their investigation.
Yeah, and he was on Channel 9. He said, I can't release more information because it could, jeopardize the case.
Second City Cop responding in his blog to Eddie Johnson's making gains comment. Well, that's just bull jive. Would you like to know what detectives are telling us? It never happened. CPD is wasting hundreds of man-hours to solve a grinder date gone bad. The victim, quote-unquote, is refusing all forms of cooperation. His ear witness isn't cooperating. The Hollywood press is running with a non-existent narrative. The persons of interest are all but identifiable and left the area 20 minutes before the attack, not to mention the anonymous witness who saw a hillbilly-looking character that not a single camera in a 1-mile radius has a picture of, And that's just from a couple people working the case. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is the number of people working the case. I talked to Chicago police officer friend of mine about just the detectives. How does this work in cases?
Because you're in the 18th district. I mean, they're taking police officers and detectives away from real crimes.
Yeah, I'll be fine. But yeah, that's true.
Well, what about Hayek? I don't care about you. I care about your dog.
He'll be fine too because he's with me.
Okay.
Initially, here's how it works, according to a Chicago police source of mine. A team goes out to process the scene, interviews witnesses, canvasses the area for video and more witnesses. That could be 5 or 6 detectives. The case is then assigned to 2 detectives and followed up on each shift by 2 for a total of 6. So you have someone working it around the clock. As time passes, it goes down to just the 1 or 2 detectives that were assigned as the primary. So that's historically how it is. Remember, in this case, 20 detectives.
20. And this wasn't even a homicide. This wasn't even a cracked rib. This was a superficial cut on his face that's already been healed.
And in addition to that, he also, a homicide detective friend of his, told him, yeah, that's what I just described. That's what normally has been the case. That's sort of what the protocol is. But in actual practice, he said nowadays it's a one-man job with maybe one more helping. My last few murders have only been 2 people, maybe 3 if there's a lot to do or an in custody. If it's high profile, you have your overtime whores that will jump on to help out. So, I mean, is this excessive, the investigation, the resources for this investigation? Wildly excessive in order to ascertain what exactly?
Yeah, and remember, on Friday, and you repeat this, but he's saying it himself, and my source told me from the beginning, goes, he never had a cracked rib, and he finally came clean about that.
I was bruised, but my ribs were not cracked. They were not broken.
I mean, and the Empire Creator was in the crowd too on Saturday night. But Dan, he has a response to people like us who are doubters of the actual situation.
With the hateful rhetoric that gets passed around, it has to stop, and it has to. But guess what? It stops with the people that believe in love. We have that power.
That was
I believe in love. I just want to know what the facts are in this case. And if 2 people attacked him, then I want them identified and brought to justice. And if he manufactured this story, then I want him brought to justice.
Amen, brother.
What's wrong with that? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line. Also, with respect to that I'm the gay Tupac comment
that he made on Saturday night, yeah.
Michelle Malkin points out Tupac's actual record. Tupac beat a rapper with a baseball bat, shot 2 cops, punched a movie director. He was convicted of sexual assault, robbed and shot 5 times, then murdered in a drive-by. So exactly how are you the gay Tupac? Good question, Michelle asks.
I was so upset on Friday.
Jussie.
I actually left a message with Harvey Levin from TMZ because they're believing an anonymous source, a woman who saw this redneck standing outside his apartment building with camel dress shoes. And I pointed out, I know you guys live in sunny LA, but it was minus 23 wind chill that night. No one's going to be standing out there for an hour and a half waiting for somebody to come out and attack them because they would be in the hospital fighting frostbite. But also, too, again, no surveillance cameras picked up any sort of that activity at any point in time around, a mile circumference of that place.
Well, and this is not to dismiss the notion that there is race or sexual orientation fueled crime, that there are ignorant, violent people out there. There certainly are. Oh, by the way, the group that suffers the most crimes, they're victimized the most often because of who they are.
The Jewish community, right? Yeah.
By far. It's not even close. How often is that reported?
They did have a rally before, just real quick, before his performance, but 10 people showed up. That was it. And one was holding an anti-Trump sign, and that's it.
But I mean, just on this, happy to report crimes that are racist fueled. So, for example, CWB Chicago reported over the weekend, Georgia man accused of punching a woman in the head and then punching a responding police officer in the eye during a racially charged incident on the Boys Town bar strip early Saturday morning. 34-year-old walked up to a 25-year-old woman, punched her in the face on the southwest corner of Halstead and Aldine.
Yeah, Aldine.
The officers intervened in the incident, at which time the assailant struck one of them in the eye, calling the male cop a black bitch N-word.
Oh, God.
Then he apparently before he punched her, the woman, he said "F you, immigrant, BH." So, okay, well, yeah, cops present, witness, he's taken into custody. This is not trying to pretend that such incidents don't happen. It's specific to this incident. And I ask the same question. I ask again the question I asked at the outset. Do you find it at all curious how much Jussie is enjoying the spotlight and how his statements become more and more aggressive? Now he's talking of love, and he's talking about how he fought back. He's more and more the hero in this narrative that is being created on his behalf and with his help. He's providing a lot more help, I would say, to that narrative than he is to Chicago police as it pertains to solving this alleged attack.
Well, early in the morning, the next day, he had an 8 a.m. curtain call, or, he had to report to the set, and he had a facial wound and some bruising on his face. And he had to explain to people how that happened. So I think he had to come up with something. That's why he was on his phone with his manager, coming up with something for why his face looks beaten. Bad grinder date, possibly. And then turned it into, let's catapult your career on this. Let's make something up. Or maybe the grinder guy he met did something to him. Something did happen to him. We know that, but it's not what he says it is.
Well, I don't know. I'd like to know. And I'd like Chicago police
to back off.
The brass, not rank and file detectives or officers, the brass, not to just sweep this away or just play the four-corner waiting game because there's nothing here. And so rather than hold anybody to account if they fabricated a story, if they filed a false police report, you're just going to walk away from it because Ari Emanuel represents him and he's a Hollywood guy and he's a black gay guy. And so he checks all of the identity politics boxes in this city. And we're going to continue to pay attention for that reason.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see this through.
John and Palatine.
Hey, Dan and Amy. I'm just wondering if it were the other side around, like, where's all the outrage and protest for the possibility that this might be a fabricated story? Because I can tell you, if it were the other way around, people would be asking him to stop being a singer or a celebrity or for him to resign and so forth.
All right, thanks, John.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
The check engine light is on in Washington, but politicians keep driving the car as if nothing's happening. There it is again. It's Social Security. A new government report says the Social Security Trust Fund will run out by the year 2034, and that its costs will exceed revenues this year for the first time in more than 3 decades. What does that mean for you? When should you start taking benefits? When should your spouse? And how can you get every dollar of Social Security you're rightfully entitled to? Find out what your choices could be by getting a copy of the Social Security Decision Guide from Taboda and Associates. They've been helping clients tune up their retirement decisions for more than 35 years. And even though they don't work for the government, they know Social Security. Call right now, 630-883-4577, and we'll send you the guide. That's 630-883-4577. Find out how to get every dollar of Social Security you're rightfully entitled to. Call 630-883-4577. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
If you've considered a MyPillow but procrastinated, the MyPillow 4-pack offer is still available. That's 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows plus free shipping, all for the price of just 1 premium MyPillow. They're amazing pillows, so don't procrastinate because you'll sleep better and you'll feel better. Do something for yourself. They're washable, dryable, have a money-back offer, and you can still get 30% off everything else, including the MyPillow mattress topper and those pet beds. Go to MyPillow.com. Type Amy, A-M-Y, in that promo code for 30% off. And don't forget those pet beds. And they also have sheets and pillowcases. Giza cotton sheets, I might add. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, everything about Super Bowl Sunday was a snoozer for me. The game, the halftime show, the pre-game presidential interview. Yeah. Gladys Knight was the only highlight. Trump's interview with Margaret Brennan. I mean, it's so annoying. These news readers, even these people that sort of marshal the roundtables on Sundays, they don't know anything. She's just reading questions off a sheet rather than trying to have a conversation to extract anything interesting from the subject.
Who is she? I never watched CBS, so I had no idea who she was.
She's a commentator, guest host with Dickerson or co-host with Dickerson of Face the Nation. Oh. But, I mean, there was absolutely nothing new said on Pelosi and the border, on Mueller, on Russia, on his spat with his intel agencies, difference of opinion with his intel officers over troop withdrawals. It was just sawing sawdust, except...
Yeah, there was one part that piqued my interest.
It was the only thing, that was, I guess, noteworthy, although it's marginally noteworthy.
Well, it's good. Would he let Barron play football? The guy that's running the whole operation, you say?
Yeah, Barron. Barron's in charge of the whole thing.
He's like 6'2", and he's 12.
Would you let your son Barron play football?
It's a very tough question. It's a very good question. If he wanted to, yes. Would I steer him that way? No, I wouldn't.
Why?
I wouldn't. And he actually plays a lot of soccer. He's liking soccer. And a lot of people, including me, thought soccer would probably never make it in this country, but it really is moving forward rapidly. I just don't like the reports that I see coming out having to do with football.
Well, sure.
Well, yeah, but there's actually, if you did the study, there's actually more concussions in soccer than there are in football.
Yeah, at the
youth
level.
Yeah. Because the soccer players don't have helmets. And this is not a movement to put helmets on soccer players, but it's true. I mean, Russell got a concussion, or Eli, whatever we want to call him. I mean, concussions, they run rampant.
But the deal with Trump's answer, that's the answer that, millions of parents, that's like a center-cut answer that a parent's going to give.
It was a human moment for us parents to connect to President Trump. Like, he's got problem. I mean, people forget, he's 72, but he's got a 12-year-old son. So he's in it just like us, pre-teen years. It's going to be hard for them,
Well, and his position is not different than Troy Aikman's or Tony Romo's or others of football players who said, I wouldn't steer my son into the game. I'm not going to, if he really wants to play, I'll support him, but I'm not going to steer him into the game. So I mean, just the whole day, except for Gladys Knight, was just boring. It was painful. I wasted those 6 hours of my life for nothing.
Lowest scoring Super Bowl in history. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of the Utes.
Utes, I got your Utes.
Tucker Carlson says we should ban smartphones for youth. You agree? 6:36.
And later, well, we'll just tell you what's coming up later. Let's get into the newsroom first. Here's Mike Scott.
47 degrees. We've had some light rain showers crossing the area this morning, but for the most part, cloudy skies through southeast Wisconsin, northwest Indiana, and here in the Chicago area. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam remains in office this morning after saying on Saturday he won't resign over a racist photo in his 1984 yearbook. Photo shows someone in blackface next to someone in a KKK hood. Northam initially admitted Friday that he was one of the people in the photo and apologized, only to reverse course the next day. Most Democrats and most Republicans believe Northam should step aside. Police in Texas say they've captured an extremely dangerous inmate who escaped Sunday morning. Conroe police say investigators aren't sure how Cedric Marks was able to escape.
He had leg restraints, hand restraints, and a belly restraint that attaches the three together. It is unknown at this time how many of those were connected when he escaped, or how he was able to remove any of those, if so.
Police Chief Jeff Christie says investigators continue to look into how the professional MMA fighter had been able to escape and was left unattended, and why he was left unattended during a prisoner transport during a stop at a McDonald's restaurant. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating after 5 were killed when a small plane crashed into a home in Yorba Linda, California. Washington State's measles outbreak continues to get worse. The number of confirmed cases now at 48. Another 7 are suspected. A deadly 3-vehicle crash on the upbound Stevenson this morning is causing heavy traffic issues. Illinois State Police tell us early this morning a car veered onto the right shoulder near the Pulaski exit on the southwest side. That vehicle then rear-ended an IDOT truck. After not running for several days because of cold weather and a freight train derailment, Metra electric trains are moving on tracks again. The South Shore line also moving after being shut down for several days last week because of the cold. 2 were killed, multiple others injured in a shooting overnight at a Southside bar. The dead, according to Chicago police, identified as Marvin Powell and Jeremy Carruthers. Chicago sports. Well, Patriots winners of the Super Bowl, 13-3 in Atlanta. Ricky Fowler holds on to win the Phoenix Open by 2 strokes. Blackhawks are back in action when they visit the Oilers tomorrow, and the Bulls return to the hard court on Wednesday. The news service of Staples. Right now, during Staples' chair event, save up to 40% on a huge selection of chairs for your home or office. Get the Staples Merit Desk Chair for $99.99. That's a $70 savings. Offer ends 2/9/19 while supplies last at Staples. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Winter stinks. Snow, ice, freezing temperatures, more snow. Escape Chicago and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Marvel Residences Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. It's a beautiful, all-inclusive resort located between Rainforest Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Don't wait to book your Passport to Paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport.
Remember when we were growing up and you heard the word millionaire? It was a big deal. Today, even if you come from a middle-class background, it's common to have saved $1 million or more for retirement. We call these folks middle-class millionaires. Hi, I'm Bill Geiger, founder and president of Geiger Wealth. Whether you wear a white collar or a blue collar, when you're getting close to retirement, you're not always sure that you're on the right track. So we've created a special report, the top 10 things to consider when preparing for retirement, to help you get ready for one of the most important milestones of your life, the decision to stop working and to retire. Go to GeigerWealth.com now for the top 10 things to consider when preparing for retirement. It's complimentary. That's GeigerWealth.com, and get on track to retire with confidence.
Geiger Wealth Management is a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco Inc.
You've invested a lot in your company's resources and reputation, so it's a logical next step to consider implementing or upgrading a commercial security system to protect your company and assets. Of course, you want to maximize ROI, so it's important to weigh the pros and cons of a business security system and determine how simple or complex of a system your business may need. Business security systems range in size and scale from simple individual alarm and camera systems to fully integrated complex designs that incorporate access control, CCTV, and management from a single platform across multiple sites. 2 Secure Inc., Chicagoland's business security experts, use the newest technology and can reduce costs by reusing your existing hardware and cable infrastructure. 2 Secure is offering a free, no-obligation, live, on-site CCTV demo. See for yourself how a new or upgraded security system can work for your business. Call 708-990-4408 or visit 2secure.com, 708-990-4408, or online at the number 2secureinc.com.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the roads now in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
The outbound Stevenson Expressway is jammed western to Pulaski. The right lane is blocked for investigation of a major overnight wreck. Travel time is 54 minutes. Lakeshore Drive 355. Inbound, it is an hour. Huge delays from Harlem to Pulaski. Edens is 20 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 31 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. A little quicker in the Express. Heavy on westbound 190 at the airport. On Eisenhower, 46 minutes, 390 to the Bird Circle. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes, 90 to the Murray Christian 429. Northbound Tri-State side from the Reagan Tollway to the Eisenhower. Metro Electric and South Shoreline trains are running again. There are some delays on other lines. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Low clouds and fog with occasional rain and drizzle. Mild, high of 52 today. Cloudy, breezy, colder, 28 overnight. Currently 48. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Should the federal government step in and ban the use of smartphones by children? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. The question prompted by some recent studies about screen time retarding the development, the intellectual development of children, and also the continuing research into the social media.
Well, it's changing our culture. I mean, it's changing the way even teens communicate, even with their parents and with each other.
Latest study measuring the effects of social media on a person's life. Researchers at NYU and Stanford found that deactivating Facebook for just 4 weeks could alter people's behavior and state of mind. The study found that temporarily quitting Facebook led people to spend more time offline, watching TV, socializing with family and friends, reduce their knowledge of current events, and polarization of policy views, and provoked a small but significant improvement in people's self-reported happiness and satisfaction with their lives. Now, that's for adults, but the effects of both screen time and social media, the pressures that come with it, the
I didn't
cyber,
get invited to that party.
Yeah, the cyber issues that are attendant to the social media with kids, all prompting Tucker Carlson to call for federal action. Here's Tucker.
Smartphone use makes your kids sadder, slower, and more isolated, and over time can kill them. That's all certainly obvious to the people who make the phones, and that's why so many executives in Silicon Valley restrict their own children's technology use. The software they make is addictive. It was engineered to be that way. As Facebook's first president once explained in a burst of candor, quote, "We need to give you a little dopamine hit every once in a while. God only knows what it's doing to our children's brains," end quote. There's no reason that the Congress, which made smartphones possible in the first place, shouldn't be part of the solution. So here's an idea. Ban smartphone use for children. Pass a federal law tomorrow. Why wouldn't we do that? An addictive product that science has determined gravely harms kids? Sound familiar? Once upon a time, people actually argued against age limits for cigarette sales. It's hard to remember exactly what their arguments were. They seem so mindless and embarrassing now.
Federal law to ban smartphone usage up until a certain age. You like that idea? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro text line.
The kids have just become so dependent on their cell phones. I mean, we kind of freak out if we lose our cell phone. They go to DEFCON 5 if they lose their cell phone. Everything's on there. My storyline. I don't even know what the story thing is, but it's through Instagram and how they share what they're doing and capture everything. It's too much. And even millennial women, I go to yoga a lot, and a lot of them have their cell phones because they don't know how to be alone. It's like this is a time where you need to be with yourself. You need to self-regulate. Check in with yourself. Check in with your breathing. You can't. They're constantly, if they don't have their cell phone, they feel isolated and alone. And that's part of what Tucker Carlson was saying. And that's why I think it's a great idea. I would absolutely love it. Then they can go back to reading books or socializing with each other. I mean, I'll never forget the student who felt...
that's what they're going to do.
Well, he felt one kid, this story was out of Hersey High School, he wanted to commit suicide. He's walking with his friend down the street, and while they're walking next to each other, he texts to him, I want to kill myself. Instead of just talking to him, he's standing 12 inches away from him. I mean, that's how pathetic it gets.
So should we pass a law mandating reading so many books a week, too?
I don't know about that, but the cell phone thing...
Well, wait a second.
Changing our culture.
So if we're going to pass federal laws to prevent children from harming themselves through addiction to screens and social media, why wouldn't we pass a federal law that we could demonstrably prove would improve their lives, like, reading the canons? Why don't we pass a law that requires you to turn in book reports to the federal government so that the overseers know that you're reading and you're developing intellectually? We know that's a positive activity, don't we? Science can back that, can it? So if we want to start passing federal laws, why not federal laws mandating productive behavior? Well,
what do you do with
what's the difference?
Well, what do you do with your fictitious children? Do they have to, is there, a reading requirement in order to receive food at the Proft household over there?
They follow my protocol, which is to, in addition to their coursework, obviously.
Well, obviously.
In addition to that, they have to select a author, playwright, poet, actor, economist, and philosopher to study each month.
Okay.
So half a dozen different people in these categories, and you read some of their work. And you can return to them. You won't exhaust all of the work of many of them in a single month, but at least it starts to expose you to new ideas and get your, propeller spinning.
Yeah.
So should we Band-Aid that? That could be Prof's law.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, Prof's law, that you have to do this with your children. And you have to turn in evidence that you're doing it. Otherwise, you face a criminal penalty. What do you think about that?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line, 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment.
There's a real interesting series in Gizmodo, a columnist at Gizmodo, gizmodo.com, Kashmir Hill. She's taking on the big five. For 1 week each, she's going to give up Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Apple.
I could live without Amazon.
And she couldn't.
Really? I'm not a big online purchaser.
Well, it's more than that, but Amazon Prime and all the other services.
Oh, well, no, that's just silly talk.
Well, so
now
that's
that
the point.
Prime.
It was interesting.
The videos.
She's got good write-ups on each of them. I definitely recommend them. She talks about Facebook. She was surprised how much she missed Facebook.
I hate Facebook.
But here's what she understands, or where she came to understand. We built our networks there, and we're loath to leave them or to start again. With the purchases of Instagram and WhatsApp, Facebook has a stranglehold on social news and photo sharing. By blocking them, I lose the ability to mass communicate with my social circle. I can't brag that I won a journalism award on Facebook or post a video feeding a giraffe at the zoo on Instagram. I lose my ability to receive news from my social circle. When I gave in and re-enabled my Facebook account weeks later, I see at the top of my newsfeed that one of my closest friends recently gave birth. I call her to congratulate her and tell her I wouldn't have found out if I hadn't rejoined the social network. I just assume that if I post something on Facebook, everyone will know about it, she tells me. I mean, there is something to that, just about Facebook specifically, where you've built the social network, and it is the peer-to-peer sharing of information, whether it is news or just personal information. And so you're resistant to walk away from it, much less go try and rebuild it somewhere else.
That's how friends communicate now, which is, oh, and by the way, happy birthday, Facebook. They're 15 years old today. Next year they can drive.
Jennifer in Wheeling, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, guys, good morning. I just want to make a couple of points about Tucker Carlson. Like, I love him, and I think he's great, but I don't think we need more laws on things, because I thought being conservative, being Republican is all about not having a government overreach. And I'm a therapist, I understand what goes on with kids and adolescents and all that, but more parenting by the government, and then I kind of remember back to the sugar tax, and I kind of remember Amy wasn't for that, but at the same time, Amy is for the federal law.
No, you know what? I'd be happy if it was just something that the Board of Education passed at CPS, where keep your cell phones in your lockers. If something big happens, they know how to get a hold of us, and we could tell the kids.
Keep your cell phones and your big gulps in your locker.
In your locker, yes. Yeah. I mean, start maybe at a more, at a local level for the cell phones. But if you walk around, if you visit any high school.
Thanks for the call, Jennifer.
And I don't care if it's Walter Payton Prep or Northside Prep, all students have their cell phones out. And a teacher can say, hey, put your cell phones away.
Well, let me echo Jennifer's skepticism about federal cookie cutter legislation to apply to 330 million people and hundreds of millions of families. Is this the province of the federal government? Absolutely not. And Tucker Carlson should be embarrassed by the argument that he made. It's an absurd argument. And it's a complete, that is the definition of the slippery slope, as I tried to give one example. If it's okay for the federal government to intervene to help you raise your children by protecting them from the bad, why not by mandating the good? Or protecting your children by law and the imposition of criminal penalty on you from all kinds of other bads that are not protected. I mean, it's endless. The federal government, this just in, does a terrible job of raising children. Julia in Bloomington, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, so I was calling because a couple weeks ago I had a birthday party, a sleepover for my
For Facebook?
12-year-old daughter. No.
Oh.
For my 12-year-old daughter. And so the girls showed up. Most of them had been here before. No problem. My 12-year-old daughter is not allowed to have a cell phone.
Wow.
And they all showed up with their cell phones. And I thought, no big deal. And it was not 20 minutes before they had taken over. And so I walked out with my bucket. I said, first game of the night, ladies, welcome. So glad you're here. First is deposit all devices in the bucket.
Ooh, who went home sick?
Really? And the one girl, she clutches it to her chest, and she looks at me, and she says, are you serious? I looked back at her, and I said, I so am serious. Welcome to my home. And all throughout the evening, she kept asking for it back. She went and snuck it out of the bucket at one point. The next morning, the girls all went sledding. This girl stayed in my daughter's bedroom, wouldn't go out. So I don't think that it ought to be legislated, but I think that parents who can't parent, parents who use poor judgment and allow their young children, because I am also a teacher, and last year our junior high shut it down and said no cell phones allowed. It has made absolutely the hugest difference, and I don't think people who don't work with it see what their children are doing, or they just don't notice, or they just think, well, this is society, I guess we just have to go along with it. But they don't have the ability to self-regulate, they don't have any self-discipline, and they don't know where they are. And I sat the girls down, I said, when you're making all these videos, who is seeing them? Who's watching them? Who are you sending them to? They have no idea. Well, it's filtered. It's only private. And I turned to them all. Such a downer of a birthday party, right? My daughter's rolling her eyes. I said, ladies, no one's ever told you, let me be the first, nothing you ever post, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I don't know that it's the government's job to regulate it. I just think parents need to get smarter and toughen up.
Exactly. Thanks for the call,
It's hard,
Julie.
but are we at the point where it's too late? Because that's how kids socialize, is via their smartphones.
What do you mean? I had this conversation with a friend of mine, same deal, like the dog, you go ahead, try to take the phone away. You can't do it. What do you mean you can't do it? Of course, you can do it.
I did it for a month of the summer, and it was harder on me than it was on my boys.
Is it too late? What? Is it too late to parent your child, to discipline your child? No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's going to get worse for the toddlers that are around. All their parents do is babysit through Uncle iPad. That's what we call it. Uncle iPad's out.
Well, here's the thing.
Quinn.
This isn't a village issue. This is a household issue.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Bob in Buffalo Grove.
Thanks for taking my call, Dan and Amy. It seems like every generation we go through one of these things, something being banned. As you know, I'm a baby boomer, and through the 50s, especially in 57, 58, there was a big campaign to ban the evil rock and roll music.
Yeah.
That's going to corrupt
Devil's
our real
music.
youth.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, I don't know if you weren't even born, but I remember the day, February 3rd, 1959. 59. Buddy Holly, Valens, and the Big Bopper, and they were all going to corrupt our the youth of America in the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Bob. Elvis's hips. Yeah, no question. Tom in Deer Park.
Oh, hi, good morning. It's a really relevant topic, the use and overuse of social media and its implication on our society and especially our kids. The place to have it is what you and Amy are doing and having a discussion on your show, as opposed to Tucker Carlson, who is in the class of a Jim Acosta or a Don Lemon. They're all the same. I don't watch any of these people, but you can't get beyond having to hear from them because of things like this. 2 weeks ago, he came out with a monologue that we need big government and populism. Now he wants big government to ban the phone. I have no idea what Tucker's up to, but he's not forming a discussion. He's demagoguing.
All right, thanks for the call, Tom. Mike on the north side, hurry up. I've been off Facebook for 5 minutes. I need to post something.
Good morning. First off, who cares what people in a yoga class are doing? They're Lincoln Park Trixies. They're not forming a herd. It makes it easier for rich single guys like Dan to pick them off. Look at what we're talking about. Look what we're talking about. Go back 2 topics ago. All these idiot liberals are mad because somebody wore blackface, but 3 days earlier, the guy was doing his best Adolf Eichmann impersonation. He wants to kill babies that are already born. Just make them comfortable and let them die. They're not offended by that. But some guy wants to play Uncle Remus and sing Zippity-Doo, and the liberals are all busted out of shape. They knew that guy was no good. They just let him win because he had a black lieutenant governor. And they said, hey, this is the easiest way for us to get a black governor, put in an idiot, and then remove him.
Okay, thanks for the call, Mike. A little bit of a hard tangent to Ralph Northam, which we'll pick up at 7:07.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Boeing goes bionic at a South Carolina plant. Howard Schultz's 2020 talk posing problems for Starbucks. Those stories next.
Hi, this is Alexander Green, Chief Investment Strategist for the Oxford Club. Just for a moment, I'd like you to picture the perfect stock. No doubt it would have hundreds of billions in revenue, more than IBM, Facebook, and Google. It would probably be a leader in cutting-edge technology like smartphones and robotics. It would be on the verge of dozens of blockbuster announcements. But most of all, it would be ultra cheap, trading at less than $3 a share. Now, it may seem crazy that such a stock exists, but it does. It's a cutting-edge tech company that has made deals worth hundreds of millions of of dollars with Nokia, Microsoft, and Cisco, and a $29.2 billion deal with Apple. It's set to create 50,000 new jobs right here in America, and Donald Trump even calls it the eighth wonder of the world. Yet you've likely never even heard of the stock. Why? Because it trades under a secret name. To find out why the secret $3 stock can help you retire, simply go to onestockretirement.com. That's onestockretirement.com.
Boeing plans to equip its factory workers in South Carolina with technology-enhanced exoskeletons. The suits, similar to ones sideline cameramen used in the Super Bowl, will increase speed and strength of Boeing's workers, shaving time off aircraft production. Going into the Super Bowl, authorities were expected to seize some $24 million in fake Super Bowl merchandise, both in Atlanta and around the country. The number was up 54% from last year. Starbucks finding it must walk a tightrope as its former CEO, Howard Schultz, thinks about a possible presidential campaign. Republicans don't support his liberal views, and Democrats are afraid he may split their vote and help re-elect Donald Trump as president. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I was diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy and some other issues. Finally, my internist, through a bunch of tests and colonoscopy, I won't bore you with the details, found out that my system doesn't produce enough acid to break food down enough where I get the B12 benefit out of it. So I went on shots once a month, which my wife, who's a nurse, can give me, but I was still pretty lethargic. I was just telling my wife last night, I said, you know what? I feel fantastic. This Balance of Nature really gives me energy beyond anything else I've ever taken.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
If you think all banks are the same, it's time to think about Signature Bank Chicago. I'm Pete Olson, head of commercial banking at Signature Bank, where the people who own the bank operate the bank. Not in an abstract way, but in the same hands-on, personalized way that you run your business. We don't rely on a legion of business developers to find new relationships. We don't trust an outsourced phone bank to address your customer service needs, and we don't delegate decision-making to some anonymous credit committee that you'll never meet. We do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you don't succeed, we don't succeed. Call us today to see the Signature Bank difference.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey guys, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and Pajamagram.com has the Micro Velvet Touch. That's what the PJ experts over there at Pajamagram have created, and it's found only in their Tempting Touch PJs. Tempting Touch PJs are simply the softest, most luxurious pajamas ever imagined. They're addictively soft. So soft, they beg to be touched. So go to Pajamagram.com and get her the blissful comfort you know she deserves. This is a higher level of soft. Softer than her sweetest dreams and yours. They're relaxing to wear and irresistible to touch. And when she's happy, you'll be happy too. A Valentine's gift has never felt this tempting. So what you do is go to Pajamagram.com. Every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging, and delivery by Valentine's Day is guaranteed. So visit Pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs. That's 1-800-GIVE-PJs. And tell them Dan and Amy sent you.
Picture yourself unemployed for 20, maybe even 30 years. That's what retirement can look like, 20 or 30 years with no paycheck. If that's not for than long, consider this. Over 2,000 rules govern Social Security, and there are hundreds of ways to file for it. It's not surprising so many Americans may be getting less Social Security than they've earned. Will you get the most out of your Social Security benefits? Call Jack Tabota at Tabota & Associates. Jack and his team will use time-tested methods to help you maximize your Social Security benefit. Find out your options. Call Jack Jack Taboto at Taboto & Associates. Get the Social Security benefit you've earned. 630-883-4577. That's 630-883-4577. Jack Taboto at Taboto & Associates. 630-883-4577. Taboto & Associates is an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of investment and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
A woman in critical condition following a Pilsen house fire and victims of a fatal drive-by shooting ID'd. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
The Patriots do it again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Super excited.
Yeah,
Go
exactly.
Pats! Go Pats!
Fans in Boston and all over New England celebrating a sixth championship in the last 17 years. Fox's Matt Napolitano was at the Super Bowl, now joins us live from Atlanta.
Dave, Tom Brady, now the winningest player in Super Bowl history, earning his sixth ring last night as the New England Patriots defeated the LA Rams 13-3 in the lowest scoring Super Bowl ever. Brady crediting his defense for guiding the Pats to a record-tying sixth Vince Lombardi trophy.
Fortunately, our defense really played the best game they have all season, and it was just an incredible win.
That Patriots defense holding the Rams to a Super Bowl record-tying low for points en route to New England's second title in 3 years. Dave?
Mad Virginia Governor Ralph Northam is ignoring loud calls to resign over a photo from a 1984 medical school yearbook showing one man in blackface, another in a KKK robe. Northam initially said he was in the picture, then said it wasn't him.
The governor did admit to darkening his face while dressing as Michael Jackson for a dance contest the same year as the yearbook photo. Many figures within Northam's own party are calling for his resignation, from Virginia senators to the official state Democratic Party.
Fox's Garrett Tenney in Richmond. There are pieces of airplanes scattered for 4 blocks in Yorba Linda, California neighborhood after a small plane broke apart in mid-flight. Some of the debris hit a house, sparked a fire. 5 people were killed.
One is the pilot, a male. 4 were in the residence, 2 males and 2 females.
Orange County Sheriff's Lieutenant Corey Martino. The special U.S. envoy for North Korea met with South Korea's national security advisor today, discussing President Trump's second summit with Kim Jong-un later this month.
I like him. I get along with him great. We have a fantastic chemistry. We have had tremendous correspondence that some people have seen and can't even believe it.
The president told CBS Face the Nation he believes North Korea will give up nuclear weapons. The director of national intelligence last week said he didn't think that'll happen. This is
Skies are cloudy, 47 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A deadly 3-vehicle crash on the outbound Stevenson Expressway is causing heavy traffic issues for the morning commute. Illinois State Police say early this morning a car veered onto the right shoulder near Pulaski Road. The vehicle then rear-ended an IDOT truck, helping another vehicle that was pulled over. They're not running for several days because of cold weather and a freight train derailment. Metra electric trains are on the move again this morning. The South Shore line also shut down, started up again yesterday as well. 2 were killed, multiple others injured in a shooting at a Southside bar overnight Sunday. The dead have been identified as Marvin Powell and Jeremy Carruthers, and police say there apparently had been a fight inside the bar before the shooting. Chicago Police Department investigating the shooting death of an off-duty police officer Saturday night. The officer has been identified in multiple media reports as Sergeant Lori Rice. A woman in very critical condition after an early morning house fire on the west side. Blaze broke out in the 1800 block of South Peoria. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Chicago announcing federal charges against 5 people connected to a violent carjacking ring in the city and the suburbs. One, Brian McKenzie of Chicago, allegedly took 2 vehicles at gunpoint last October, one in Orland Park, one in Oak Forest. Another is Kashif Dukes, also of Chicago, who committed a carjacking in the Bronzeville neighborhood in 2017. Chicago sports. NFL insiders say the Bears and Packers will be kicking off the 2019 NFL season. The NFL recognizing its 100th anniversary this year and could opt to feature its 2 oldest franchises instead of the defending Super Bowl champion playing at home. Blackhawks back in action when they take on the Oilers in Edmonton tomorrow. Bulls return to the hard court on Wednesday. College hoops yesterday, UIC picks up a win over first place Northern Kentucky. The news, a service of InvisibleFence.com. Millions of pet parents trust Invisible Fence brand with their pets, and right now when you purchase their Consumers Digest awarded Boundary Plus technology, you get 45% off your second pet. Visit InvisibleFence.com now to take advantage of this limited time offer. InvisibleFence.com. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
If you're not pleased with your child's progress this school year, now's the time to consider enrolling your son or daughter in St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. With an ongoing enrollment program, it's never too late. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual, and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. Find out more about St. John's Northwestern Military Academy ongoing enrollment. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments. Clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. You know, people walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Get your free credit scorecard today, even if you're not a Discover customer. It includes your FICO credit score, and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
7:08 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
In Willowbrook, there's a crash on 83 at Plainfield Road, 8094 westbound. We see delays Calumet Avenue to before Torrance, crash blocking 2 right lanes. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy from the Stevenson to 47th, Roosevelt to North Avenue. On Reagan Tollway jammed, Farnsworth to 59. Edens runs 28 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Kennedy, 42 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. On Ike, 49 minutes, 390 to the Burn Circle. Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 3:55 for Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 52 minutes. All lanes have reopened at Pulaski after an overnight wreck. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop Ford, 32. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Occasional rain and drizzle, mild today with a high at 52. Clouds breezy and cold tonight, low 28. Partly sunny, breezy, a cold day tomorrow. Freezing rain by nightfall. The high tomorrow at 31. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
47 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Are you with President Trump? Wouldn't let your kid, or wouldn't encourage your kid to play football. You wouldn't stop him, but you wouldn't encourage your kid to play football, particularly if your kid were to reach the pinnacle of professional football and participate in a snore of a game like yesterday's Super Bowl. What really is the point? I think the president has a good point. Not just forget the concussions, just in this no-tackle league, and you still can only put together 13 points between you?
It was so bad. I mean, L.A. couldn't even score a touchdown. But you know what? Good, because the Saints should have been in that game anyway. So I'm glad it was boring, and I hope Roger Goodell learned a lesson.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Well, it was horrible. The team shouldn't have been there.
It was the good news, if there's any good news to be gleaned from this. It wasn't too political. Yes, you had Budweiser's hysterical ad about being brewed with wind power. And yes, at the beginning, you had the whole, NFL social justice events. It was just painful.
Right.
But you didn't have any kneeling. You had a great national anthem from Gladys Knight.
Oh,
and that was the highlight of the whole evening.
Just through.
Pretty good for 74.
Oh, my gosh. And she's amazing. And the outfit she looked like, she just looked like a goddess. And good for her. She pulled it off. Georgia native, so it was perfect.
You had the Verizon ad with the hat tip to first responders. I thought that was cool. All these football players who wouldn't be on the field if it weren't for the first responders. They're all involved in serious accidents. It was really good.
And and also I love the Hyundai commercial, the elevator, because I'm a big Justin Bateman fan, and I thought that was cool.
Jason
Bateman fan. Did you see that one, the Hyundai elevator, where the kid has to get off on the floor where he's having the talk with his dad about sex, and then it's about car shopping.
Yeah, okay. Well,
that wasn't
if
bad.
You just want to talk about your ads that you liked, 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. It's pretty funny. The halftime show, there was some run up to the halftime show because was Adam Levine going to do something like lead a kneeling in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick and the other communists or not, or was there going to be any sort of politicization of the halftime show? That would actually made it more interesting. Here's Adam Levine talking about it, trying to tease it, trying to get people's interest in Maroon 5, and you got to be clever to be able to do that. This was before the Super Bowl. Of course, he sat down with E.T.
I've never been more excited in my entire life to present this to the people because I believe that it's truly a reflection of all of us.
You're not someone who would take this decision lightly. And looking at the past people you've collaborated, I'm assuming that when you say you looked inside hard.
I did. I did, absolutely, 100%. I will never sit here and deny that. I think that to have not done that would have been deeply irresponsible. So I did. No one thought about it more than I did. Okay. No one put more thought and love into this than I did.
I don't even know what the hell they're talking about.
What are they? Well, they had a lot of pressure because all the A-listers said, no, we're not doing the Super Bowl because you're not respecting Colin Kaepernick, and Colin Kaepernick needs to be back in the league. Well, he's not in the league because he stinks as a quarterback, but they don't realize that. It's all social justice to them. So he had to tell people that he cares about their side.
No,
that's what I thought he was saying.
Yeah, it was very touching.
But Biggie Boy made a surprise appearance. So did Travis Scott.
Big Boy.
Big Boy. Well, we call him
Big B-O-I. That's B-O-I to you.
Oh, B-O-I. Okay, that wasn't bad. And then SpongeBob SquarePants, they wanted to change.org had something where they had 1 million signatures. People wanted the creator of SpongeBob to be honored. So they kind of stuck that cartoon character in there for a few seconds. And the bottom line, it was so boring that it was artless. There was nothing fancy, that you can only have so many flames behind you. And you can only take off your clothes so many times, okay?
Yeah, it doesn't make up for the singing. Doesn't make up for the songs.
It doesn't.
It's terrible. It was just
we just need hot chicks performing at halftime, okay? And I don't mean to sound sexist.
No,
but
it does. You don't.
No, I don't. No, I hope I'm not coming across that way. But, dancing and something flashy and fun rather than just milk toast performers up there.
Pussycat Dolls.
You know what? Anything.
Yeah.
I'll take anything next year. Let's get the ladies back, okay?
All right. I'm down with that. Maybe, because the wardrobe malfunction for Adam Levine didn't do much for me.
Well, he took off his jacket, and then he took off another jacket. Then he took off his, that T-shirt that, what do you call it? Now I'm even afraid to say Dago
T-shirt.
Is that what it's called?
Or
is that racist?
Yeah, that is.
It's pretty bad.
That's a slur.
I'm sorry, the undershirt.
Yeah.
Without the sleeves. Well, what is that called? I thought it was
undershirt would probably be better.
Oh, my Italian community is going to turn on me.
Yeah.
Hey. And then he took that off, and then he was tattooed everywhere. And the back tattoos, it's too much. That was not sexy. That's disgusting. I see Hep C up there.
On the flip side of that, interesting to note, there's a Chick-fil-A inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium where the game was played.
Good.
In Atlanta. And that remained closed on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, that...
Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays out of observance for the Sabbath because the Cathy family is religious, Christian.
They lost tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
they don't
sales
care.
alone yesterday. Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, it's an interesting note. Meanwhile, Arthur Blank and the Falcons got a lot of money because that's what sports franchises do in most cities. They socialize the cost of building the stadiums, and then they privatize the profits to the owners. But it's all for the rank and file Joe Punchclock and Sally Housecoat, right? Yeah. Millions of dollars in subsidies, tens of millions of dollars in subsidies to build Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And
it is beautiful, though.
They're not, well,
it's an
sure.
architecture of glory.
Yeah. You should be able to build beautiful things when it's on other people's dime and there's no...
Sounds like something Chicago
bottom
would
line.
Do, doesn't it?
Cindy and Joliet, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. I think they should rename it the Snoozer Bowl. It was horrible.
The Stupor Bowl.
Teams were,
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I read a little joke this morning, of course, on Facebook, where all news comes from.
Yes.
That the teams played like they had to go to the White House if they won.
Oh, that's funny, actually.
Yeah. That is pretty funny. But, honestly, the game was a snooze. Adam Levine, I think Maroon 5 just punched their last ticket on the dance card. They were horrible. I mean, their whole everything. They're kind of on the way out, and I know there was controversy who was going to play and who was going to get political and social slack if they decided to play there. And, I mean, it just was they just tried to patch it up together, and it was a mess. And it showed. It was just, I don't know. I did schoolwork. That was more exciting.
Thanks for the call, Cindy. You can barely get through even commenting on it. It was so boring.
I'm so laborious.
Why didn't they go with like a young rock band, like young upstart rock band that's still touring, like
who?
Like Rolling Stones?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
still touring.
No, they wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be politically correct for them to perform at halftime.
You know that the Rolling Stones were asked and declined because they want to stand in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick.
But knowing how
they're worried about political correctness.
Knowing how they feel, I don't think that they would have accepted an invitation to perform at halftime.
Based
They're
on what?
lefties.
Based on what?
Just comments that they've made over the years.
Like
so
what?
I can't see any performer besides Maroon 5 who would have performed yesterday at halftime.
What comment has Keith Richards made through the years
Oh,
of
I
any
can't
of any
remember.
nature?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay. Well, you look that up. We'll see if.
Okay.
Before you smear the Rolling Stones.
Oh, you like the Rolling Stones?
I do like them.
Okay.
Who doesn't
Well,
like the
they're good.
Rolling Stones?
Yeah, I've been to one of their concerts. It's really fun.
Bill in LaSalle County.
Hey, Dan, Amy. One of my wife's and my favorite commercial was the Alexa dog collar commercial with Harrison Ford.
That was
where
good.
the dog keeps ordering dog food
Yep.
and when he's barking at Harrison.
That was good.
And then the end, Harrison said, "I'm not talking to you," with a smug face.
Yeah.
I like the WeatherTech
Thanks for the call, Bill.
commercial when they talked about their new, how they're going to save our pets with environmentally, sound.
With wind power.
No,
Yeah,
no,
right.
the new bowls that they're not toxic. The bowls, and they had the golden retriever. I thought that was a cute commercial.
John in Palatine.
Hey, Dan, I was trying to figure out why Adam Levine chose California instead of Illinois to be tattooed all over his abdomen.
Yeah.
Abdomen.
I thought I did see a J.B. Pritzker tattoo on him.
Illinois is on his ass, John.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
With so many homeowners fearful of poor service and not knowing who to trust, home remodeling is often delayed. But do you ever wonder why so many remodeling experiences go so wrong? Advanced Design Studio thinks remodeling shouldn't be so painful. Will the project stay on budget and be done on time? If you're nervous about home remodeling, you're not alone. Whether you're contemplating a new kitchen or bath, want an addition to your home, or in need of a whole house transformation, Advanced Design Studio is the company to call. They understand your fears and know how to overcome them. Backed by 27 years of providing positive remodeling experiences, Advanced Design's client service process, called Common Sense Remodeling, puts you first, averting delays and budget overruns to produce a rewarding remodeling experience. Make 2019 the year you overcome your fears and remodel your home, bath, or kitchen. Don't be a bad remodeling story. Use common sense and visit AdvancedDesignStudio.com for more information or call 847-836-2600.
Let's face it, everyone loves to shop. From my experience of meeting a famous politician in the Hermes store in Paris,
to my unforgettable experience test driving my first 600 horsepower car, in which I said, "I'll take it," before it even hit 60 miles an hour.
we are pretty sure everyone has at least one unforgettable shopping experience. Hello, we are Carrie and
Ken,
founders of Income Store. Have you ever considered shopping for your next income? And we don't mean your next job. Did you know that you can walk into Income Store's website through a door on the left or a door on the right?
if you're just starting out or you simply have more time than money, you're going to enter our website on the left. If you've got more money than time, then definitely the right door is for you.
If you're looking to increase revenue in your home or business and would like to create a brand new, greatest shopping memory, all you have to do is change where you shop. Check out one of the two doors at incomestore.com.
That's incomestore.com.
Another year has come and gone, and if you're a business owner and still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system, then listen closely. You and your employees suffer every time something goes wrong with your network, and in most cases, it can take days to hire an IT person to fix it. Well, maybe you've been lucky and everything's running fine, but how long will that last? Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. But it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Turnkey IT can help make 2019 the year you've prepared for anything technology throws your way. You'll be set for success and get in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey specializes in preventative steps to keep you going. So get on it. For a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company. When you have Turnkey, do a complimentary network audit of your system. Now, even if you have a current IT company, a second opinion never hurts. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
My hair is turning. I see a little bald spot. My husband doesn't, but I do. But anyway, it's filled in. I think I got a good head of hair now. as a result of taking that. Yeah, the volume of it was decreasing, but now it's back to what it was.
It helps me with my sleep, my digestion, everything that I had experienced the first time I took it. I'm experiencing again, and I'm pleased. So I'm very happy with it.
I can tell a huge difference. One day I just totally, I don't know, it was a Saturday, I totally forgot to take them, and I was like toast the whole day. And then I realized, I haven't taken my fruits and veggies.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Time for Ralph Northam, the governor of Virginia, to look at the man in the mirror and realize it's time to beat it.
Hey, I like that.
Ralph Northam, after this yearbook photo was revealed, and by the way, the word is that it came from a former medical school classmate of his that was very upset by Northam's endorsement of infanticide last week.
Oh, so he's been sitting on this for a while and then realized, you know what, now's the time to act?
Apparently. And here's a question that's an aside. If Northam had been a Republican, if he had been Ed Gillespie, per the governor race in 2017 that he won, do you think the D.C. press corps would have found this yearbook?
Yeah, they would have been on it during the campaign. And also, too, keep in mind, this is not a youthful indiscretion. This is when he was in medical school. He's 25 years old.
So it's just worth noting. You understand, yes, campaigns are responsible for opposition research, and yes, this is a failure of Ed Gillespie's campaign, and it's a pretty sad failure considering he was the former RNC chairman. All that's true. But something else that should be noted about the landscape is the D.C. press corps acts as a in-kind opposition research arm of the Democrat Party and turns a blind eye to Democrats. Just worth noting. And so Northam first apologized, then says it wasn't me, then apologized some more, and is begging for your forgiveness.
When my staff showed me the photo in question yesterday, I was seeing it for the first time. I did not purchase the EVMS yearbook, and I was unaware of what was on my page. When I was confronted with the images yesterday, I was appalled that they appeared on my page, but I believe then and now that I am not either of the people in that photo.
You can understand his confusion about possibly being a guy in a white hood or a guy with blackface on, because it wasn't foreign to him to do that, as he explained.
While I did not appear in this photo, I am not surprised by its appearance in the EVMS yearbook. In the place and time where I grew up, many actions that we rightfully recognize as abhorrent today were commonplace. My belief that I did not wear that costume or attend that party stems in part from my clear memory of other mistakes I made in the same period of my life. That same year, I did participate in a dance contest in San Antonio, in which I darkened my face as part of a Michael Jackson costume. I look back now and regret that I did not understand the harmful legacy of an action like that. It is because my memory of that episode is so vivid that I truly do not believe I am in the picture in my yearbook.
And also, too, remember when he dressed up as Michael Jackson, he just used a little shoe polish, because for those of you and us, we don't wear blackface. It's really hard to get that stuff off your face.
I had the shoes, I had a glove, and I used just a little bit of shoe polish to put on my cheeks. And the reason I used a very little bit is because I don't know if anybody's ever tried that, but you cannot get shoe polish off.
Yeah. I mean, he's a predominantly African-American reporter. I don't know if any of you guys have tried that. Maybe you back there, but it's hard to get it off your face. I mean, he was so disconnected, and his wife, I think she died inside watching her husband for 4 minutes talk crazy talk.
Yeah, so he thought he apologized for the photos initially because this is the kind of stuff he did, then recollected with a commission that he hastened together that no, that wasn't one of the the Ralph Northam incidents. So that's not me in either one of those, the blackface or the Klan outfit. But I do that stuff, and I do that stuff. I guess I earned a nickname for doing that stuff.
Squee?
But I don't really know the basis of that nickname. You'll have to ask these two kids at VMI.
I had the shoes. I had my main nickname in high school and in college was Goose because when my voice was changing, I would change an octave. There were two individuals, as best I can recollect, at VMI. They were a year ahead of me. They called me Coon Man.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know their motives or intent. I know who they are. But that was the extent of that, and it ended up in the yearbook, and I regret that.
What do you think their motives or intent might have been? You have any guess? I mean, sure, this is the kind of stuff that went on all the time. I participated in it, just not that first picture. They called me this. I don't know their motives or intent, but it was going on all the time, and I was participating in it. Boy, I wonder if we could piece this together at all.
Doesn't Gillespie wish he would have done some opposition research on Northam during the campaign there and find all this stuff, find out what his nickname was? And, I mean, the fact that it just drives me crazy that he said that picture belonged on a different page. No. If anybody's ever worked on a yearbook, you talk to the person, then when you put their page together, to make sure that those are the pictures that they want representing themselves.
How twisted up is the D.C. press corps on this, and just on this topic generally, just with race and identity politics generally? Washington Post Jennifer Rubin, who's presented as some sort of center-rightist, she's not. She's a goof. She referred to Northam's likely replacement as Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax. He's black.
Right.
As, quote, a dynamic, eloquent African-American, right out of the Joe Biden pages of being clean and well-spoken in describing Obama. And so Rubin is now facing all kinds of heat for dynamic, eloquent African-American. As if you just can't say dynamic and eloquent.
And this guy is so clueless and stupid, real quick, that when a reporter asked him about, hey, can you still do the moonwalk?
Are you still able to moonwalk? Inappropriate circumstances.
My wife says inappropriate circumstances.
He looked like he wanted to get out from under the lectern or behind it and do the freaking moonwalk. I mean, are you kidding me? He is dumb. He shouldn't be in office because of that. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk a little con law with Randy Barnett, Georgetown law professor. We'll also ask him about the ABA's latest example of the soft bigotry of low expectations. That's at 7:37.
And later, a mayoral candidate with some pretty bad financial woes will explain. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Cloudy skies, 47 degrees at 7:32. A picture on Virginia Governor Ralph Northam's 1984 yearbook page. Shows someone in blackface standing next to someone in a KKK hood. Many have called for his resignation, but Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax was not one of them, calling for the ouster of Ralph Northam.
This really is a moment of reflection where we have to think about having leadership that unites us, that can help us rise, better angels of our nature. And
Northam, if Northam does step down, Fairfax will become Virginia's 74th governor, the second black governor of that state. The first black governor elected in the country was Virginia's Doug Wilder in 1989. Authorities are investigating what caused a small plane to go down and crash in Yorba Linda, California, killing 5, injuring 2 others. Sarah Ahern was in her home nearby.
It felt like an earthquake, so I actually grabbed my kids and went into the hallway.
The plane took off from Fullerton Municipal Airport Sunday afternoon. Authorities got word of the pilot's emergency signal around 1:30. President Trump says Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is absolutely not leaving to run for Senate in Kansas.
He loves being Secretary of State. He's doing a fantastic job. And I asked him the question the other day, says he's absolutely not leaving. I don't think he'd do that.
The question came during CBS's Face the Nation interview with the president. Pompeo last month confirmed to Fox News that Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell, the majority leader of the Senate, asked him to consider running for the Senate seat of retiring Republican Pat Roberts. A deadly 3-vehicle crash on the outbound Stevenson this morning caused heavy traffic issues near Pulaski Road. 2 have been killed, multiple others injured in a shooting at a Southside bar overnight. Chicago Police Department investigating the shooting death of an off-duty police officer Saturday night, identified in several Media reports as Sergeant Lori Rice. And in an update to a story we told you about earlier this morning, a 48-year-old woman is now dead following an early morning fire in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood. Blaze began in a single-family home in the 1800 block of South Peoria. Well, the dynasty continues for the Patriots. They beat the Rams in Super Bowl 53, 13-3. Weekend golf, the Phoenix Open goes to Ricky Fowler by 2 strokes. The Blackhawks back on the ice when they visit the Oilers in Edmonton tomorrow. Blackhawks have won 4 straight. The news service of Staples right now during the Staples Chair event. Save up to 40% on a huge selection of chairs for your home or office. Get the Staples Merit Desk Chair for $99.99. That's a $70 savings. Offer ends 2/9/19 while supplies last. Staples. 7:35 is our time, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains why the left does what it does.
Feeling good about yourself is the motto of the left. I am moral, I am wonderful, I fight for this, I fight for that. These are people who have aimless lives. The essence of leftism is meaning for the aimless, purpose for the purposeless.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you happy with what's looking back at you in the mirror? I'm Dr. Howard Cooper from Excellence in Dentistry, and we'd like to help you with that smile. Whether you're looking to fix 1 or 2 teeth or a whole smile makeover, we can take care of all your dental needs. We have a beautiful modern facility and a great staff. And most importantly, we love what we do. That's what sets us apart from other offices. Let's face it, a dental office is not everyone's favorite place. Whether you're 2 or 102, we make it fun and enjoyable. We perform all types of dentistry as well. Fillings, root canals, crowns, extractions, dentures, implants. We do most everything right in our office. And for you denture wearers, we have a full in-house denture lab and can perform repairs and relines while you wait. We can also talk about adding implants so your denture will snap into place or become screw retained. This is the closest option to natural teeth. We are conveniently located in Gurnee at the corner of Washington and 21 in Saratoga Square. So make today the day you give us a call. 847-244-4000. That's 847-244-4000. Or visit us on the web at gurneedds.com. We look forward to seeing you, and remember, second opinions are always free. Excellence in Dentistry, creating excellence one smile at a time.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-600-9519. That's 1-800-600-9519. 1-800-600-9519.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:37 and a check on the morning roads. AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound candidate delays start at Canfield. It's 43 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 24 from Montrose. Same on the Express. Outbound 49 to the airport. Eden's 23 minutes. Lake Hook to the junction. Outbound 29. Eisenhower 390 to downtown. It's 57 minutes. 40 from Manheim. Outbound 44 to 390. Stevenson 55 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 45. Ryan 33 minutes. 95th to downtown. Eastbound 390 is heavy Meacham to 290. Northbound Tri-State delays from Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. From Roosevelt to North Avenue. Eastbound Reagan Tollway really clogged up from 31 to Viola. Northbound Veterans Memorial 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Low clouds and fog. Occasional rain and drizzle. Mild today, high 52. Currently, we have 47. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues now. And make sure to stay tuned to catch me, Mike Gallagher, coming up at 9, only on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And we've got other matters to talk about besides that pertain to the yearbook police. You've got, obviously, your Brett Kavanaugh. Now you got your Ralph Northam. Here's one that popped up last week we haven't gotten to. It's a little bit below the fold, but it's relevant. She's a nominee for the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals to replace the vacancy created by Kavanaugh's elevation in the Supreme Court. She was the person who ran point on President Trump's deregulation efforts, was the head of the White House Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs. Her name is Naomi Rao, and she's being held up by Democrats in the Senate because of, quote-unquote, inflammatory op-eds she wrote in college.
Can never separate from your past, huh?
Yeah. She took a dim view in college of racial preferences in a piece that she wrote about one of the great economists of the last half century, who happens to be black, Thomas Sowell. She also wrote that progressives preach tolerance, but too often don't practice it. Boy, that's really a shocking statement. There's not much evidence to support that contention. Okay. So anyway, this is an issue, too, for a nominee to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals. For more on this topic, and then we'll talk a little bit of immigration policy and the Constitution as well, we're pleased to be joined again by our friend Randy Barnett. He is a law professor at Georgetown. He's also the author of the book, Our Republican Constitution, Securing the Liberty and Sovereignty of We the People. Randy, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Nice to be here, Dan. Hi, Amy.
What about Naomi Rao and the prospects of her appointment to the D.C. Circuit, and just the sort of the new thresholds that must be cleared about your faith, as well as your yearbook photos and college writings?
Well, I know Naomi very well. I've known her for a very long time, and I think the world of her. She's not only extremely smart, but she's a very, very good, sweet person, actually. So it's a shame what's happening to her. But I think you'll find that over the years, minority conservatives get treated far more harshly by Democrats than white males do.
Yeah.
They're prepared to let white males on the bench, but they sure don't want any minorities on the bench that aren't sort of on the plantation, because they're more dangerous and in line for the higher court. So Naomi is Indian American, and Patrick Bumate, who was kept off the Ninth Circuit by the California senators and is going to be nominated now for the district court. He was a Filipino. He is a Filipino gay man. And we all know what happened to Miguel Estrada.
Yeah.
This is just a pattern that we've seen. So you can expect, if you're a minority, that you're going to be treated, and especially and a woman, you're going to be treated, which is what Amy Barrett's problem is. She's a woman. You're going to be treated far more harshly by Democrats than if you were a white male.
Sure, it undermines the narrative. So there's something else that's worth noting sort of in this topic area is the soft bigotry of low expectations being advanced by the American Bar Association. A story out this week that they have rejected a proposal, last week they rejected a proposal to require at least 75% of law students at accredited schools to pass the bar no later than 2 years after their graduation. The argument made against it at the ABA's House of Delegates meeting was that it would be unfair to institutions that serve minority students.
Well, that may be what they say. I haven't studied this closely. I saw a headline or two about it. I have mixed feelings about it. It seems to me that if you go to law school, it's on you to pass the bar, and most people pass the bar by taking bar prep courses. You don't take, so therefore, this gives people, to say they're going to close a law school because it gives people a chance who may be marginal and who then at the end of the day can't pass the bar is going to disadvantage all the people who do pass the bar, even from those law schools. Those law schools may have a very low bar passage rate, compared to other law schools, but they still have a lot of people who pass the bar who get to be lawyers because they went to those law schools. So I have mixed feelings about messing around with accreditation standards on the basis of that statistic.
But it is, and that's a fair point, but it is noteworthy just to sort of indicate a mindset, and this is what Thomas Sowell, speaking of Thomas Sowell again, wrote about it Inside Higher Education 30 years ago, talking about putting people in positions where they can't succeed and then just changing the standards because you don't want to admit what you're doing is political. It's not merit driven.
Well, that's the mismatch theory, which I think there's some evidence for, and that is that by admitting students to schools that they are not as competitive with, they're more likely to fail than if they were admitted to schools where they were more competitive with the other students. I see mismatches amongst my students sometimes, and they're not minorities either. There are other forms of admits that are mismatched for whatever reason. And they do have a harder time. So that is a well-known problem of schools at the top sucking up students who might do much, much better if they went to schools just below the top.
Now, last night, Governor Northam, moving over to Virginia and what's happening there, had an emergency meeting with, as he said, colored people from his administration.
People of color.
People of color. Excuse
Big
me.
difference.
People of color. Well, I mean, whatever. He just said minorities in his administration because he's trying to hang on here. How long do you think that he's going to last? And why didn't his Gillespie use any opposition research and use this against him in the campaign?
I don't know. I mean, they deny they had the information. Of course, now they would do so. They would deny it even if they had it. But so we don't know if they had it or not.
Okay.
But look, I going back to your opening setup here, I'm very uncomfortable with all this yearbook prowling. As bad. I mean, I don't think Brett Kavanaugh did anything wrong. I don't think his yearbook shows he did anything wrong. But in this case, I would say a yearbook does show that somebody did something wrong, but they did something wrong 30, 35 years ago. I mean, I just think it's just ridiculous to start disqualifying people or causing people to have to lose their jobs because they did something wrong, genuinely wrong, 35 years ago, that there's been no evidence since then that they have continued along that path. In fact, all the evidence is to the contrary. So I just think this is a terribly, terribly dark road that we've gone beyond. I mean, you can be happy or you could be satisfied that the left that has been doing this is being hoisted by their own petard here or there.
Yes.
But I don't think on balance that that's worth it.
Yeah, and it's interesting you raised that. It was a good piece by Zaid Jalani at Quillette asking the question, why does Ralph Northam deserve no mercy? Partly because he gave none, and so he's not particularly sympathetic. But in terms of the larger issue, he raises the question, wait a second. We talk about second chances for convicted felons, and we talk about criminal justice reform to give people a pathway back into civil society to be productive citizens. And he writes, but when it comes to issues of racial offense, these same people say they are, these people are demons in human form, incapable of reform, and so must go. You had this case with the Florida Secretary of State where he resigned before even having to do a press conference or face the firestorm. And now you've got, the left circling Ralph Northam in addition to conservatives who are happy to see him go just because he's been part of the problem.
But I can guarantee you that if there was not a Democratic lieutenant governor to step in and take Ralph Northam's place, the left would not be circling Ralph Northam today.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, the other thing, too, is if this had been Gillespie who had this yearbook photo in his background, do you think it would have been discovered during the campaign?
Of course. People are, I would think the left has been excellent at opposition research. They've been doing oppo research on prospective judicial nominees in advance. They have organizations that are funded to the tunes of tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars set up to do this. This is all the dark money that Sheldon Whitehouse is so upset about that's doing this. And, I think they would have. But, look, I just think I just keep coming back to the fact that nailing people because of what they did years and years ago, even if it was very wrong, is just wrong. That is wrong.
But I wish Northam would have come out. I mean, and not wish, but it would have been fruitful for him, I think, to come out and say exactly what you just said. But instead, I mean, he seems to enjoy the spotlight. That 4-minute press conference was so bizarre, and he almost got out in front of the lectern and did the moonwalk. And if his wife hadn't stopped him, I think he would have done it, don't you?
Well, his big problem is that he said he was in the picture. He apologized for it, and the next day said it wasn't him. I mean, that is a problem for Ralph Northam today. That's not a 30-year-old problem. That's a problem from last week, that there seems to be a lack of truthfulness and candor that's coming from the governor of Virginia, and that would be a character issue for today.
But the larger issue is that the approach to mob action from those in positions of power, authority, whether it's on a college campus or in public office, is to appease, apologize, appease. Please don't take me, take somebody else, rather than standing up to the mob. Who stands up to the mob?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I think that because I think most of the consultants that you go to when you're in trouble like this tell you that an apology is what you need to clear the air. And I think oftentimes it does clear the air. And the longer you hang out there without the apology, the worse it gets. Sometimes for some people, but on the other hand, as you know, Dan, as you're just implying, there are some things that cannot be appeased, and you might just as well just stand up and be candid.
I wanted to switch gears. We got the President of the United States giving a State of the Union address tomorrow night, and assuming no deal in place by then, which I think is a pretty safe assumption right now, that's going to be certainly a central topic. I don't think we've spoken to you, so I wanted to get you to weigh in on whether or not you think the President has emergency powers to redirect domestic resources to border security by declaring this, humanitarian crisis on the border. Is that something that is, in your estimation, within the executive's purview?
IDK, I don't know.
Okay.
Because the reason I don't know is because I don't think there's anything inherent in the president's powers as a president. The question is there are so many statutes on the books that give the president emergency powers to do this or that you really don't know the answer to these things unless you know all those statutes. What I have read about those statutes secondhand, and therefore I still don't know, is that they don't authorize this sort of thing. Anything they would authorize just does not fit this circumstance. There are things he can do at the border as a result of emergencies, but actually building something like this and condemning land under the takings clause, not under the takings clause, under the power of eminent domain is not something he can do. But I don't know. So I just think if Congress hadn't delegated so many powers to the executive branch, we would know the answers to these questions when they arise far better than we do.
Yeah, and what we do know, to your point, is if he does go down that path, it's sure to be litigated. He is Randy Barnett, Georgetown Law. I'm sorry.
It'll be enjoined. There'll be an injunction right away. So
right.
That'll be that.
Right. Randy Barnett, Georgetown Law Professor, author of the book Our Republican Constitution, Securing the Liberty and Sovereignty of We the People. Randy, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good to talk to you guys.
Take care.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
When I found out I had diabetes a while back, I thought, hey, this isn't going to get better unless I really make a fundamental change. And along with that, I got on board with Balance of Nature. So I'm going to do a lot of things right, but I think I can't tell you how good it feels to have some of the issues that I was dealing with completely gone.
Every winter, I usually get a really bad laryngitis, cold. I didn't get it this past year. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I didn't get it this year at all.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Bastuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Thomas Sowell said, "A consequence of entitlements is people who contribute nothing to society feel they're owed something for being nice and gracing us with their presence."
Manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are required to meet FDA compliance requirements. Automated Systems will create a custom solution for your business that will make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI, 844-HIRE-ASI, or online at hireasi.com.
President Trump's new tax law cut your taxes by over $5 trillion. Now you can benefit and reduce your taxes to zero. It's possible. The new best-selling guide, The Trump Tax Cut, shows you how. The Trump Tax Cut by tax expert Eva Rosenberg reveals hundreds of tax deductions, loopholes, and money-saving secrets in the new law. Medical, mortgage, educational deductions. Buy a new car for up to $40,000 and write it off. You'll find a major loophole that gives you an immediate 20% cut in your tax rates. Millions are taking advantage of this new loophole. Newsmax says the Trump Tax Cut book helps you save tens of thousands of dollars overnight. Before you file your taxes, get the Trump Tax Cut Guide in bookstores everywhere, or check out the free offer and save almost $25 with shipping. Go online now to TrumpTaxCut.com. That's TrumpTaxCut.com. Or call 800-NEWSMAX. 800-NEWSMAX.
Trans ideology is in our schools, government, churches, even our homes.
We need to start taking some action in stopping this total madness.
Join the Illinois Family Institute for our Trans Ideology Worldview Conference, Saturday, March 16th at Stone Church in Orland Park, with Dr. Michelle Curtella, authors Denise Schick and Douglas Wilson, and Walt Heyer, a former transgender, with encouragement for others.
Let me help you realize who you are.
The Illinois Family Institute Worldview Conference, biblical training for today's culture, 10 a.m. Saturday, March 16th at Stone Church in Orland Park. $20 per person, $50 per family. To attend, call 708-781-9328. 708-781-9328. Or visit illinoisfamily.org.
Raj Shah, host of Secure Retirement Radio.
I spoke to one person and, I asked him a simple question is, what do you want to do with your retirement? And he said, I want to protect it. Because if it does go down and not come back, do you have enough time in the market to recover those losses?
Tune in for Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah, Chicago's safe money strategist. Sunday mornings at 7 here on AM 560, The Answer.
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, President Trump got back on the golf course this weekend.
Oh, good.
At his place in Jupiter.
Oh, he didn't go to Mar-a-Lago?
He played with Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus. I mean, I was available if they needed a fourth. Trump.
Who rode in the cart alone?
I don't know.
I bet it was Trump.
Playing for the first time in 69 days. So
That's
he's
good because he had to hunker down because of the government shutdown.
Yeah, but he's got to get back on the court. He plays, allegedly, he plays to a 4.
Really?
Yeah, he's supposed to get a pretty good swing, pretty good game. I don't know.
I heard he moves the ball around, though. If it's a bad lie, he'll just kind of kick it. You know what I mean?
You're
Sports
sure you're not
Illustrated-
confusing him with Judge Schmales?
No, Sports Illustrated did a story. I read the whole thing about how he kind of cheats a little in golf, but that's all right. A little inch here, a little inch there. Yeah.
It's an old man. I know.
And what do you do if you're Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus? They played. Do you let him win? Do you go, full throttle, or you kind of hold it back?
Well, it'd be impossible to let him win. I mean, I don't think Tiger is capable of shooting. I don't think he's capable of not breaking 80. So
Right.
I mean, but anyway.
Coming up on that's a problem you have too. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We've got Israel building a new barrier in Gaza, Pakistan building a fencing around its border with Afghanistan. What do they know that Nancy Pelosi doesn't? We'll ask Mark Morgan at 8:08.
But first, let's check into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
A woman in critical condition following a Pilsen house fire. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
They're getting ready to celebrate another victory in Boston with a parade. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It'll be tomorrow, just months after they celebrated another Red Sox title. They'll honor the Patriots for the 6th time in 17 years.
We were on the edge of our seats until the 4th quarter, and then it got actually exciting.
Yeah, and now we're here, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
Fox's Matt Napolitano was at the Super Bowl, now live in Atlanta.
Dave, they only put 13 points on the board, but it was enough for the New England Patriots to get the victory over the LA Rams in Super Bowl 53 by a final of 13-3. Patriots QB Tom Brady spoke with CBS after his record 6th Super Bowl win.
I wish we'd have played a little better on offense, but, we won. I can't believe it. It's, Super Bowl champs.
New England running back Sony Michel scored the lone TD of the game for the Pats, while Julian Edelman earned MVP honors, the 7th receiver all-time to take that award. Dave?
Thank you, Matt. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam keeps refusing to resign, like many of his fellow Democrats urge him to do, over a 1984 medical school yearbook photo. Former Governor Terry McAuliffe told CNN,
Once that picture where the blackface and the Klansman came out, there is no way you can continue to be the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Time's ticking in Washington before another partial government shutdown's possible in 11 days. President Trump keeps demanding border wall funding. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi refuses. He told CBS Face the Nation,
She was very rigid, which I would expect, but I think she is very bad for our country.
Now, Pelosi's office called the president's comments wild but predictable. One House Democrat, Josh Gottheimer, told Fox this morning some sort of barrier is possible.
If you talk to the experts, they say, listen, there's some topography where you need sensors. Right. Some places where drones make sense. Some places where, where a fence may make sense.
What caused a small plane to break apart in mid-flight? Investigators are trying to figure that out in Yorba Linda, California. Wreckage is scattered over 4 blocks. 4 people were killed in a house that caught fire. The pilot also died. This is Fox News.
49 degrees, skies are cloudy. It's 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A deadly 3-vehicle crash on the outbound Stevenson gummed up the early morning commute. Heavy traffic issues as the Illinois State Police investigated after a car veered onto the right shoulder near Pulaski Road. The vehicle rear-ended an IDOC truck stopped to help a taxi that was pulled over. After not running for several days because of cold weather and a freight train derailment, Metra electric trains are moving on the tracks again. The South Shore line, also shut down during the cold snap, started up again yesterday as well. 2 have been killed, multiple others injured. Took place in a shooting at a Southside bar overnight. The dead identified as Marvin Powell and Jeremy Carruthers by Chicago police. They were standing outside of Reynolds Lounge in the Grand Crossing section of the city. In an update to a story we told you about earlier on AM 560, a 48-year-old woman is now confirmed dead following an early morning house fire in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood. The blaze began in a single-family structure in the 1800 block of South Peoria. Businesses and organizations with unsecured debts against Sears will begin making their case in court today. They're protesting Sears CEO Eddie Lampert's $5.2 billion buyout of the iconic Hoffman Estates retailer. Chicago sports, lowest scoring Super Bowl ever, but it was still a win for the Patriots over the Rams, 13-3. Blackhawks back to action. They visit the Oilers tomorrow. Bulls are back on the hardcourt Wednesday, hosting the Pelicans. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here is Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, there's a bankruptcy hearing for Sears Holdings today. Its chairman, Eddie Lampert, has a deal to save a smaller version of the company. However, not everyone believes in his plan. The Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation, which took over the pension obligation at Sears, is opposing the plan, believing it could put payments for retirees in jeopardy. The hearing could take days. Clorox is reporting a stronger than expected quarter. It says sales were up 4%. It was helped by its cleaning business. Podcast company Gimlet Media could be sold. Music streaming service Spotify is said to be interested and could pay more than $200 million. Recode says Spotify wants to expand beyond music. Gimlet has been moving into TV production. The Dow was up 64 Friday, NASDAQ down 17. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Winter stinks. Snow, ice, freezing temperatures, more snow. Escape Chicago and join Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. You'll stay at the Marvel Residences Luxury Resort in Nuevo Vallarta, Mexico. It's a beautiful, all-inclusive resort located between Rainforest Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Don't wait to book your Passport to Paradise trip with AM 560 and Apple Vacations. Visit 560theanswer.com/passport. That's 560theanswer.com/passport.
My name is David Hochberg of Team Hochberg. This email is from Debbie. Quote, "Thank you for all your help, patience, caring, and understanding refinancing my home. Team Hochberg made the transaction stress-free, and I enjoyed working with everyone. From getting a loan started to receiving weekly updates through the closing agent who explained all the closing documents and closed my loan at a time which best fit my hectic schedule. I'll highly recommend Team Hochberg to everyone I know looking for a mortgage. I'm so grateful I called Team Hochberg after hearing one of your radio ads. Team Hochberg is truly the best. If you're interested in purchasing a new home or refinancing your existing home and would like to receive the same level of service Debbie received, give us a call now at 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg has helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but we can't help if you don't call 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-56-DAVID or visit 56david.com.
Homeside Financial Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 66761019, NMLS 1124061.
All money managers might seem the same, but while some give their clients cookie-cutter portfolios, Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to your goals and needs. Some only call when they have something to sell. Fisher calls regularly, so you stay informed. And while some advisors are happy to earn commissions whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come from other money managers. So if you're in or nearing retirement, talk with us and find out why investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
8:07 and a check on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Kennedy inbound delays start at Harlem. It's 59 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 37 from Montrose. 34 the Express. Outbound 43 to the airport. Edens 21 minutes. Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 35. The Eisenhower 390 to downtown is an hour and 7 minutes. 46 minutes from Mannheim. Outbound 55 minutes to 390. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 43. Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, ID to the merge, Bishop Ford, 31. Tri-State northbound delays are Archer to 31st, Roosevelt to Balmoral, on Reagan Tollway, 31 to Eola, and 59 to Mill. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center with our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
It'll be mild today, occasional rain and drizzle, though. High 52, clouds breezy and cold tonight, low 28. Partly sunny, breezy, a cold day tomorrow, freezing rain by nightfall. A high tomorrow, only 31. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
48 degrees officially at O'Hare, 50 along the lakefront. Next news, 8:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by AM Woodland Outdoor Design, creating a landscape to be proud of. amwoodland.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump sitting down with Margaret Brennan from Face the Nation before the Super Bowl yesterday. And she just read a list of questions, barely paying attention to what the president was saying, just wanted to get through her preset questions rather than actually have a dialogue that could elicit anything interesting. So you got what you're used to getting from the president when it pertains to the border and Nancy Pelosi.
But if we had proper border security, we wouldn't have to work so hard, and we could do an even better job. And I think Nancy Pelosi is doing a terrible disservice to the people of our country. But
you're still going to have to deal with her, though.
No, she can keep playing her games, but we will win because we have a much better issue. On a political basis, what she's doing is, I actually think it's bad politics, but much more importantly, it's very bad for our country.
Might ask Nancy Pelosi to explain to the Israelis and the Pakistanis about their immorality as well. Israel saying, over the weekend, AP reporting, saying it started reinforcing its border fence with the Gaza Strip, erecting a galvanized steel barrier 20 feet high that will run the length of the territory.
Wow.
Commencing construction to thwart Hamas terrorist attacks, including, by the way, thwarting attacks that come through tunneling beneath the border. One of the issues that Pelosi and the Democrats have raised as sort of a straw man. In addition to that, we have Pakistan busy building one of the world's longest border fences, climbing some of the world's toughest terrain. Oh, so the Pakistanis can do it, huh? Pakistani border fence will stretch more than 1,800 miles and ascend more than 12,000 feet above sea level. It will march over mountains, span gorges, descend into desert plains, halting at the Chinese border. The fence is seeking to protect valleys and mountains that invading armies have crossed for centuries, from Alexander the Great to the Mongol hordes dividing Pakistan from Afghanistan, so that Pakistan can get a better handle on Afghans coming into their country. So, and Mexico, we know Mexico and Guatemala. Why not America? I don't understand why it doesn't apply here. We're all just human beings. These are problems that take varying forms, but are all of a similar kind around the world. Why wouldn't what Trump has proposed, the comprehensive proposal, not just the barrier, why wouldn't it work here when it seems to have done so in the past? For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Mark Morgan. He is formerly of the FBI and was the Customs and Border Protection Chief for President Obama. Mark, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for having me.
So what about what President Trump said again about Pelosi and the border, and then, add that into the context of what we see other countries the world over doing to protect their sovereignty and their borders?
Well, Dan, that's exactly right. And everything you just said really comes from, not from a political ideology standpoint, but really from a common sense standpoint of what we need to do to safeguard our borders and protect our country. And here's what I find disingenuous, and here's what I find a little frustrating, is now the big thing that they want to talk about those that oppose the physical barrier, the wall. They really want to talk about other alternatives like technology and personnel. And the problem with that is when you use the word alternative, you shouldn't do that from an exclusive factor. You should really be talking about alternatives from an inclusive standpoint. Like you said, when the president's plan is not just about the wall, it's a comprehensive plan. And that plan includes, as it should, again, be inclusive rather than exclusive, but it includes physical barrier, technology, and personnel. It's really part of that multi-layered strategy. And so why are we saying, well, this tool to the Border Patrol, we'll give you this tool and maybe this tool, but we're not going to give you this tool? And all those tools, including the wall, the experts say they need, and the data shows it works. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, you talk about alternatives. I mean, a lot of the Democrats say, oh, just throw drones up there, that will deter people from coming into the country. Are you already using a drone program?
Yeah, and that's great. That's exactly right. And it goes back to that multi-layered strategy. Absolutely. Do we need technology like drones? Do we need additional passive security measures? Do we need more ground surveillance? Do we need more personnel? Yes, we need all of that. And the Border Patrol has been using that multi-layered approach for decades. And as technology gets better, they infuse better technology. As the cartels change their tactics and procedures, so does the Border Patrol. It just makes sense. But any one of those, whether it's personnel only, technology only, or physical bearer only, they don't solve the problem in and of themselves. They need all of that. And that's what's getting lost in what I think is being driven by a political agenda here.
It was interesting last week. Sarah Saldana, who was ICE director under President Obama, she was on some Yahoo News program, and she was essentially saying that what Trump is proposing just, it won't work, it's insufficient. But she was sort of pressed a little bit and was asked, well, will it have some impact, some positive impact? And she says, well, yeah, some positive impact. Well, that's all that's really being argued. It is going to have some positive impact as part of a holistic approach to border security. And frankly, the compromise that Trump proposed a couple of weekends ago ticked off a lot of those boxes that you just mentioned in terms of the whole gestalt of border security.
Dan, that's exactly, again, you understand it. And I think it's just from a common sense standpoint, that's exactly right. No one has ever said, and there's not a single expert, right, not a political pundit, but an expert that says the wall is 100% effective. But if you go to those areas, San Diego, El Paso, Nogales, Yuma, where that multi-layered strategy has been used, it has been overwhelmingly effective. 90% effective of reducing illegal immigration. And can it be defeated? Yeah, but last time I checked, 90% is still pretty darn effective. And one last thing real quick is so that some of the same individuals now that are saying the wall is ineffective and immoral, in 2006, they passed a bipartisan Secure Fence Act that led to 654 miles of wall fence being built. And in 2013, the Senate passed also a bipartisan bill that included $8 billion for a fence. And now, all of a sudden, it's immoral.
Right. Now, I want to go back to your time at Customs and Border Protection as well. Did you have this problem or challenge of caravans making their way up from Central America into Mexico? Is that something that's sort of a recent phenomenon? Has it been happening? And if it's more of a recent phenomenon, what do you think are the proximate causes for it?
Yeah, so caravans have always happened to this degree and frequency. No, this is definitely a lot larger than it has been in the past. But it's really simple. This is a great question. So we have two things going on, which the president has said from day one, and he's right. We have a dual issue along the southwest border, both the security, national security crisis. We need to stop bad things and bad people coming in. Then we have a humanitarian crisis. And the reason why we have this humanitarian crisis is because of the United States, because our asylum laws are filled with so many loopholes. We have bad judicial precedents like Flores that actually incentivizes people to come here illegally. And because the loopholes in asylum, they say the magic words and they're let into the interior United States. And so right now, the pull factor and that incentive is so strong. Why come here illegally? Why go to the ports when if you can circumvent all of that, enter our country illegally, you set one foot on American soil, you say the magic words, and because of Flores, we can't detain children, but a couple of days, they're allowed into the interior United States, never be heard from again. And so what they're fearing right now is that the president is going to do what he should do for this country and lock that down and fix it. Now they're getting scared. So now you're seeing an uptick because they're trying to get in before that issue is resolved.
And we have another, large caravan, pretty large, 12,000. And I know the number changes daily, but it's remained in this caravan about the same. When they get to the border, there's an ambush like aspect to this, and using tear gas. I know people, a lot of people on the left were upset that President Trump did that, although President Obama did that 26 times during his 8 years in office. Do you think if we build a more fortified wall that might not ever happen again?
So I think that as long as our asylum laws have loopholes and we can't reverse bad judicial precedent, that incentive and pull factor is always going to be there. So your question is spot on. And that's why it's not just the national security, it's the humanitarian that we have to address. If we don't fix our broken asylum laws, if we don't address bad judicial precedents like Flores, that incentive and pull factor is still there. So they're going to keep coming. But what's ironic, though, is we talked about that barrier. Remember the last caravan that was in San Diego? How did we stop them? Well, we stopped them through a multi-layered strategy of what? Physical barrier, technology, and personnel, which is exactly what the president is asking for now. What helped stop that caravan? It was the personnel that was there deploying the tear gas. It was the physical barrier who slowed them down, prevented them from getting over, and the technology and other stuff that was being used at the same time. It's just common sense. But if we don't fix those asylum laws and bad judicial precedents, the incentive and pull factor are going to remain, and they're going to keep coming.
What did you think of some of the wives or spouses of Border Patrol agents getting together and inviting Nancy Pelosi to come down to the southern border where they live and their spouses work so she could get, a first-person account of what they're dealing with on a daily basis?
Dan, you know what? I wasn't anticipating that question, but I'm glad you asked that. I'm not joking. I was sitting in my house on my couch, and I literally stood up and started clapping at the TV. I was so proud of those wives because that's exactly what needs to get done. I'll listen to pundits, I'll listen to politicians, and I know within the first 30 seconds that they have not gone down to the border. They have not spent serious time. They have not talked to the experts down there. They have not walked the line and see the vast terrain and challenges faced by the men and women of the Border Patrol. So I applauded them. And again, it hasn't happened. The Speaker of the House has still not gone down to the border. And let's not forget what's ironic in her state. What does she have in her state? She has some of the best, most extensive wall than any other state along the southwest border. And I hope the American people, that they see the irony there.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Morgan, former FBI agent and Customs and Border Protection Agency head under President Obama. Mark, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate your insights.
You bet. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's been perfect for me for the last couple of years. I just did it for health. I'm not one of these people that have some kind of, issue or anything. I'm in good health and happy and can't complain. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's an easy-to-follow system. Just take the fruits with breakfast and the veggies with lunch, and away I go. So it's easy to do. It's much, much better than the old vitamins that I used to take. It does everything I need to do. I've stayed healthy. I haven't had a cold in 2 years, so I'm doing good.
Use discount code CHICAGO for 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies with free shipping. This offer is going to end between now and February, so act fast. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson, and you'll have to wait until spring to get the outside of your house painted, but winter, perfect opportunity to get your interior painted. People walk into my kitchen and ask, Amy, did you get new cabinets? No, I save myself thousands of dollars by simply having them painted by the experts at CertaPro Painters. So cross the first project off your 2019 to-do list. CertaPro Painters will ensure a beautiful transformation of your home. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered. In-home with a color consultation or online with their color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting experts. You can schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get a free estimate at CertaPro.com or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Question, do you have a health insurance plan you are not happy with? Well, Bethany and Jason thought they were stuck. Their plan just kept getting more expensive, and Bethany's favorite doctor didn't even take that plan anymore. And then some friends at church told them about MediShare.
With our previous insurance, we were paying $1,200 a month. With MediShare, we now pay around $600 a month.
Yes, they're paying $600 less per month, and that's a pretty typical savings with MediShare. And they actually like MediShare more.
I was able to go back to my original doctor that I absolutely loved, and it's just been an absolutely beautiful thing being a part of MediShare.
Yeah, so they pay a lot less and they like it more. No wonder MediShare is growing so fast. Find out more. They're super easy to talk to. All you have to do is call 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
Have you inherited a coin collection and need help figuring out what it's worth? Do you have your own collection that's just sitting around collecting dust? Turn those old coins into cash at Kedzie Coins. Cash in and pay off bills. Use the money for a new set of wheels. Kedzie Coins is also buying scrap silver and gold on the spot, and they'll give you the best fair market prices. They're committed to the strictest standards of excellence and ethics, an accredited precious metals dealer member with family roots in the heart of Chicago and members of the Professional Numismatics Guild. In the market to buy, Kedzie Coins is your destination for one of the largest selections of gold and silver bullion minted in the U.S., an enormous inventory of government-issued world coins and U.S. paper money and currency. Visit KedzieCoins.net to see the full line of available stock, or stop by one of their 3 locations, Kedzie Coins and Jewelry on 59th and Kedzie in Chicago, What a Gem Jewelry and Coins in Berwyn, or their flagship store, Broadway Jewelry and Rare Coins in Kankakee. For more info or an appointment, call 773-436-0777.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, as anticipated, when you got, more than 25,000 conversations recorded off the cell phones of one outgoing alderman, Danny Solis, and one soon-to-be outgoing alderman, I think from the electorate before the feds, Ed Burke, you're probably going to have a lot of people ensnared, and it seems like we may be moving in that direction, and let's hope so. Sun-Times reporting that 4 other aldermen were recorded in conversations with Victor Reyes, who was Daley's Latino outreach person. Remember the old...
I saw him everywhere.
HDA, right?
Uh-huh.
What was it called? Yeah, HDA. Victor Reyes, John Cass refers to him as Whispering Vic, is in a business called the Roosevelt Group with Michael Noonan, who's a Madigan stooge. Reyes complaining about, talking to 4 aldermen and essentially talking about the business that they had referred to him. But griping that Danny Solis was too busy at the massage parlors to refer business to Victor Reyes.
It was prior to taking the after taking the Viagra.
How about anything? How about anything, Danny? Reyes is quoted as saying in the transcript in this federal affidavit that's obtained by the Sun-Times. How about anything? Not just the big one. How about one effing thing? Maldonado sends me business. Moreno sends me business. Solis responds, I will. Rick Munoz sends me business. Solis, I'll send you business this month. You haven't sent me any. I don't know why. So there you go. 4 wonderful Latino community leaders, in addition to Ed Burke and Danny Solis. George Cardenas, Roberto Maldonado, step right up. Ricky Munoz, another guy out.
And our favorite.
Gropo Joe Moreno.
And Gropo.
Chick-fil-A doesn't represent Chicago values.
Yeah,
that Gropo Joe.
Yeah, Gropo. So he acknowledged suggesting the services of, Victor Reyes, but he denied any quid pro quo, by the way. Okay.
Yeah, they all get campaign cash from Victor Reyes. Of course they do.
And then in return, they kick him back some business.
And now there's nothing illegal has been alleged. None of these individuals have been charged with anything, hasten to add. And, you're in this Victor Reyes and his consulting group. It's professional services. So it doesn't necessarily have to be competitively bid under the law. And so it could be that nothing here is illegal, but we'll see as more information is parceled out by the feds, more of these conversations are translated into actions that took place, just exactly what everybody was up to. But, if you're playing this quid pro quo game, it's very unlikely you're as meticulous as Madigan, all of these individuals. And it's much more likely that there's going to be some evidence of shakedowns, extortions, a la Burke style, that involve some of these individuals too. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe not. But the good news is that the feds are working, seem to be working off all these conversations they have to go up wherever the facts lead and wherever they have evidence of crimes committed. So that's a little ray of sunshine in this otherwise dreary political space.
And the feds got Solis to turn and wear the wire because they have stuff on him. And so they had 18,000 conversations just from Danny Solis' cell phone alone. And they also conducted surveillance of his private meetings and his trips to the massage parlor. Because, guys, it wasn't just one time. Okay? I know you probably were thinking, how many times did he go? He went often.
Right. The feds have stuff on him, and then Danny Solis goes to the massage parlors and gets stuff on him.
Oh. Hello. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to switch gears entirely.
Dramatically, I might say.
Talk to a redeeming individual who's representing a redeeming organization. Bill Rickert, the Executive Director of Operations Support Our Troops America, will talk to us about some upcoming events in the area at 8:38.
And later, a way to drown out the homeless, keeping away from your property. And it's happening in all places of Portland. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Skies are gray, 49 degrees. 8:30 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Virginia Democrat Governor Ralph Northam is under increasing pressure to resign after a racial picture has surfaced.
When I was confronted with the images yesterday, I was appalled that they appeared on my page, but I believe then and now that I am not either of the people in that photo.
An image from a 1984 medical school yearbook shows men in blackface and KKK robes. Northam initially apologized and said he was one of the people in that photograph, and later, under pressure, changed his statement. Former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe is predicting Northam will resign.
Once that picture where the blackface and the Klansmen came out, there is no way you can continue to be the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
In other news this morning, General Motors starting to lay off 4,000 salaried workers today after announcing those cuts in November. The NTSB is investigating after at least 5 were killed when a small plane crashed into a home in Yorba Linda, California. YouTube is considering changing its dislike button. The goal is to prevent so-called dislike mobs from abusing that feature on some videos. A deadly 3-vehicle crash on the outbound Stevenson Expressway caused major heavy traffic issues this morning near Pulaski Road. Vehicle rear-ended an IDOT truck that had pulled over to help a taxi that had stalled. 2 were killed and multiple others injured in a shooting at a Southside bar overnight on Sunday. The dead have been identified as Marvin Powell and Jeremy Carruthers. They were standing outside Reynolds Lounge in the Grand Crossing section of the city. A 48-year-old woman is dead following an early morning fire in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood. The blaze started in a single-family home in the 1800 block of South Peoria. Flu is still a problem in the state. Latest CDC report shows Illinois' public health managers have dealt with about 12,000 cases of the flu. The state is reporting 1 child has passed away after getting sick. Super Bowl 53, Patriots over the Rams, 13-3. Your Phoenix Open winner is Ricky Fowler. Blackhawks back on the ice when they visit the Oilers in Edmonton, and the Bulls are back on the hard court Wednesday. College hoops, UIC a win over first-place Northern Kentucky, 69-67. The news, a service of Staples. Right now during Staples' chair event, save up to 44% on a huge selection of chairs for your home or office. Get the Staples Merit Desk chair for $99.99. That's a $70 savings. Offer ends 2/9/19 while supplies last at Staples. 8:33 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager sees the left ruining this country.
What is this now from Kamala Harris? Racism is real in America. Whoa. If you think America's saturated with sexism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, and transphobia, and racism, how could you not be angry? God, are they frauds? They're ruining my country. Do you understand? The greatest experiment in human history is being ruined by these people.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Another year and you still haven't done anything about your company's network and computer system. Will your employees struggle to get by on a dated system with no IT personnel to fix it quickly? Or maybe you're thinking everything's running perfectly and it'll be fine. Until it isn't. Whether you've experienced technical trouble or not, when you do, it costs your company money. And it doesn't have to. Don't wait for a crisis. Make 2019 the year you're prepared for anything technology throws at you with Turnkey IT. Turnkey IT helps set you up for success and gets in front of the many technical issues that can overwhelm a business. They specialize in the preventative steps to keep you going. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems, even if you have a current IT company, so you know exactly where you stand in the ever-evolving technology world. A second opinion never hurts. And for a limited time, get free lunch for the decision makers of your company, courtesy of Turnkey.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros, so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
Hi, I'm attorney Stephen Leahy, and I help business owners, 1099 employees, and those with unfiled tax returns solve their IRS problems. And I'm also the host of the IRS Radio Hour.
And I'm Jim Leahy, the co-host of the IRS Radio Hour, heard right here every Sunday evening at 5 on AM 560.
The Answer. I know you want a local attorney you can look in the eye and hold accountable for solving your IRS problem, not some big box outfit without a Chicago connection. So today we have a special offer. A good night's sleep.
A good night's sleep? Are you trying to give away a pillow?
Great guess, Jim. But no, I want to help people solve the problems that are keeping them up at night. If you fear the IRS will take away your money, freeze your bank account, garnish your wages, visit your home or job, and now they can take away your passport, you need to hire me to solve your IRS problem for good.
Call attorney Stephen Leahy, your Chicago IRS answer man at 312-664-6649, 312-664-6649, and get the IRS out of your business and your life for good.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 8:36, and let's get an update on the morning commute in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Many Metro lines have delays this morning. The Electric Line and the South Shore Line are back operating again. Kennedy inbound delays start at Nagel. It's 58 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 40 from Montrose, 35 on the Express. Edens is 21 minutes from Lake Hook Junction. How about 37? Got Eisenhower, an hour and 6 minutes, 390 to downtown. 45 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson, an hour and 3 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 40 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 30 minutes, 90 to the Merge Beach at 443. Northbound Tri-State heavy, Archer to 31st and Roosevelt to Balmore. It's been Reagan Tollway from Randall to Mill. And Veterans Memorial, out to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. It's traffic, I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Low clouds and fog with occasional rain and drizzle through the day, high 52. Currently 49. Next news coming up at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Chicago hit one milestone on Friday when Bearman Don inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yep. Well, he will be inducted.
He will be. And he was in Atlanta. We talked to him before he got the knock on the door. So that was a big plus for Chicago.
That was great. And this organization that we're going to reference next is a big plus for Chicago, too. It's Operation Support Our Troops America, long a partner with AM 560 in supporting deployed military men and women. And we're pleased to be joined by its executive director, Bill Rickert, Bill, thanks for being with us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, Dan and Amy. You guys have been a great supporter over the years for us.
16 years in now is Operation Support Our Troops America, and you're about to reach a milestone. Your organization is this week.
We really are. We are, this week, we are going to be shipping our 2 millionth pound since we've started the organization a little over 16 years ago.
And you have an event on Saturday that coincides with this milestone that you've reached.
We are. We're packing the 2 millionth pound box on Saturday, and we're going to send it to, as a matter of fact, it's a friend of my son's. It's deployed currently in Iraq, and we're going to send it to him, so we're ready to roll.
And it's an amazing operation if you've ever been down there, how you have volunteers in these. It's a huge suite that you have, and it's, the great process of packing toiletry items and little trinkets and food that people need because they don't get that over there.
They don't, and people, you got to remember, we still have men and women deployed all over the world. We're in over 70% of the countries continuously today, and people don't think we're still deployed, but we are, and they have needs, and especially now because they don't have the big bases. So a lot of them are special operators in small areas. So we send care packages. We send anywhere between 180 and 200 boxes, one by one box every 2 weeks.
And I think some of the policy arguments going on about troop levels in places like Syria and Afghanistan maybe have reminded some people that there are still thousands of Americans deployed overseas in theaters where there's conflict.
There really are, and we've just got to remember. And I'll tell you, the generosity of the folks in the Chicagoland area and western suburbs has been great over the last 16 years. I mean, we started the organization 16 years ago. My wife, Deb, started the organization out of our home, in our dining room, to our garage, to a warehouse in Lisle. And here we are 16 years later. Little did we think we'd be
and you
doing
did that because, tell us about your son's services. You have 2 boys.
We do. We have 3 boys.
Three boys.
2 of the 3 served. One was a Green Beret, the other Army Ranger. They're both out now, so we're very grateful for their service. But it started when our oldest son, Dan, decided to go to the military academy at West Point. And so we wanted to mail care packages for Valentine's Day in 2003 to some of our friends' sons and daughters that were being deployed. Our son was very safe. He was at West Point, but we wanted to do that. And so little did we know that all of a sudden things started showing up at our house. More product, got more names, started doing it, and here we are, like I say, 16 years later.
So the care packages this week, do they include like your candy hearts, your chocolate turtles, your corny Valentine's Day cards?
They don't usually have corny Valentine's Day cards, but they do have a lot of love. They have a lot of love. We have a lot of letters that we put in the packages from kids, schools, and troops love getting those letter type of things. But the big things like beef jerky, wipes, socks, believe it or not, are neat.
Toothpaste and toothbrushes.
Yeah. And on our website, you can see it's at www.osotamerica.org. There's a list of items that we do pack and send to our troops.
Nothing says Valentine's Day like wipes.
Exactly.
That's what I always say.
Hey, it's the Mount Prospect shower. But also, besides care packages, you do this great leap of faith with the Golden Knights, which, just explain it for people who haven't heard this story. It's just so remarkable.
And this is really a brainchild of my wife, Deb, who ran the organization for 13 of the years at Operation Support Our Troops. So we started this about in 2005, just to how we could honor those that gave it all. And so we had friends in the organization, a lot of volunteers that unfortunately lost their son and sons. And so we came up with the program called Leap of Faith. And basically it's a seminar, 3-day seminar of how to deal with grief, for Gold Star families, how to live their life, what we call the new normal, get back into the flow of the river of life. Starts with a seminar, and then it culminates with a tandem skydive jump out of an airplane at 14,000 feet with either the Army Golden Knights or the All Veteran Parachute Team. So,
and a lot of people release the letters that they wrote to their loved ones because they feel closer to the heavens.
Well, what we tell them is we say, hey, what's holding you back from living your life, what we call your new normal? How would you want your loved ones to want you to live your life? So they write down what they want to release, and they put that in their sleeve. And so under canopy, after they jump out of the plane, they release that, and it's very, very symbolic. And so many of our participants have done great things. Some of them have started foundations. Some of them have just done a lot of good things to memory and really to live their life. We're having our 20th Leap of Faith event this end of this month down in Florida at Homestead Air Base.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, there's still a need.
And the other thing you guys do, too, which is cool, is sort of put together enterprises that keep people connected, where veterans' families can sort of lean on one another, like the GI Yoga program?
GI Yoga is one of our programs. We have 4 major programs at Operation Support Troops. In addition to our Comfort and Care Package program, where we started out, and again, that's what we're celebrating this week with our 2 millionth pound. We also have a program called GI Yoga, and it really helps veterans deal with PTSD. And it's really neat. You have veterans of all ages. We have World War II veterans as well as millennial Afghani, Iraqi veterans doing yoga classes.
So the World War II veterans aren't wearing like bicycle pants and tight knit, skin tight clothing. I hope.
Nah, I don't think so.
All right, nobody wants to see that.
And we also have a great program called the Alan J. Lynch Veterans Assistance Program, and we help our veterans in need. And we've helped over 100 veterans last year, and it's a great program. Combine that with Leap of Faith and the Comfort and Care Package program. It's awesome.
And for the past, 12 years, Rockin' for the Troops, the event at Cantini has raised $1.2 million. We're not going to have it this year, but you're doing something different called Over the Edge, and I think Dan might want to sign up for this.
Yeah, we may have to toss Dan. I don't know. We'll see where that
Sure.
goes.
Tell him
So
what it
Over
is.
the Edge,
Sounds
we're
good.
doing this really cool event this year. We're really pumped up about it. It's going to be September 14th. It's going to be at the Hotel Arista, and we're going to have a really fun event. It's Saturday the 14th of September, and we're going to rappel down the side of the building.
Cool.
And we're going to get people like Dan.
I do that.
Going to do that. So
I do
it'll
that.
be awesome. I think
He'll do
I
it
think you should.
blindfolded.
I jump with the Golden Knights. I can do the rappelling thing.
Yeah.
I've rappelled down a waterfall in Hawaii.
Oh, oh my God.
So that's
Did I ever
similar.
tell you that you're my hero?
Well, I mean, don't
So-
make a big thing about it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just,
So people donate money, and then they can rappel down the.
Yeah, we're going to do
side of the
sponsorships,
hotel.
donate money type of thing, more of a GoFundMe type of thing. So it'll be a really fun event. So we're in the process of just beginning that planning now. Again, it's September 14th. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
What about recreating Nick Walenda's walk from Marina Tower to the Leo Burnett Building? We could do that as an event.
Hey, we're open to ideas.
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
You know what? Would you like to be on our planning committee, Dan?
I think there'd be a GoFundMe page for
There
me
we
to
go.
do that, and not survive. I
Right.
think you could raise a lot of money around that. All right, so give us the details again on the events this week in celebration of your 2 millionth pound.
This week we're going to celebrate on Thursday and Saturday at our warehouse in Lisle, and it's basically we're just going to have a celebration of shipping our 2 millionth pound to our troops. So it's a milestone, and we couldn't have done it without the great volunteers we have at Operation Support Our Troops. We have so many great people, so many great sponsors, and the people really have been so generous. We just had what was called a shop and drop at Jewel stores this weekend at a couple, and we have a few more of those coming up. So, the people of the Chicagoland area are so generous. So we're looking forward to it. It's this Thursday, Saturday at our warehouse in Lisle. More information, you can go on our website at www.osotamerica.org.
OSOTAmerica.org. And it's important to know one of the reasons people are generous is because they know their resources are used to maximum effect. Operation Support Our Troops America, 4-star rating from Charity Navigator, Platinum Award from GuideStar. So this is an organization that takes your resources, including your time, and puts it to use for maximum effect.
Well, in AM 560, the answer has always been there from the beginning for us. So you guys have been just great supporters of us. So we really appreciate that.
Our pleasure. He is Bill Rickard, Executive Director of Operation Support Our Troops America, OSOTAmerica.org. Bill, thanks for joining us. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
And thanks for joining us in the studio.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
Attention maintenance coordinators. Fans are a vital part of your business's building or factory. You've got to keep the air moving. But when they break down or need service, who can you call? Vans Industrial repair all types of fans, from small wall fans to large air movers.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Fan repair is one of many services that Vans offers. If you have a fan with a damaged shaft, bearing, impeller, or housing, we can help. And if you need a new fan, we handle all major brands and can provide engineering assistance to properly size your new fan. Our crews can respond to your emergencies or routine maintenance and will have your fan back up and running fast. And when we're done repairing your fan, we can also dynamically balance it so it runs smooth for years to come.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND to get your fan repaired today. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Hello, I'm Matthew Hickey from the law office of Matthew J. Hickey. In my 21 years of practice, I've seen a lot, learned a lot, and know who does what best. So, if you have a criminal matter from traffic issues to potential prison time, I'm your guy. If you or a loved one has been hurt, or worse, and you don't want to call a firm whose namesake faces a second federal trial in April, give me a call. My network of attorneys with years of experience and millions recovered will listen, inform, and help you through a difficult time, and are in no way affiliated with any ex-aldermen, soon-to-be federal inmates. You shouldn't have to compromise your principles when you need help. The justice system is designed to intimidate you. I'm here to even that score.
For ethical, informed legal representation, call Matt directly at 312-767-7631. That's 312-767-7631. Or go to his website, MatthewHickeyLaw.com, and send him an email. Remember, the best defense is the best defense attorney.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
If you're young and healthy, you don't need life insurance, right? Yeah, that's what I used to think too, until my brother died at 38. Joe left his wife with 2 kids, a mortgage, and a stack of bills she couldn't pay. Mary had to sell the house and move everybody into this tiny 2-bedroom apartment just to make ends meet. I never want to do that to my wife, so I got life insurance. I called AIG Direct and was really surprised how affordable it is. Just $14 a month for $250,000 of term life coverage. Listen, if you have a family, you should seriously think about getting life insurance. You'll feel a lot better having it, trust me.
Call AIG Direct for a free, no-obligation quote. The call takes less than 5 minutes, and you could save up to 70%. Call now, 1-800-600-9519. That's 1-800-600-9519. 1-800-600-9519.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices, as low as $220 per eye with an absolutely free consultation. Text START to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use advanced FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK for as low as $220 per eye. Text START to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's START to 350-350.
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms but could never figure it out.
No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down for my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable.
But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms.
Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, you want a preview of next year's Super Bowl halftime show act?
Who do you think it's going to be?
I know who it's going to be. You ready
yeah.
for it?
I'm ready.
I got a sample of his music. Ready? Can you name that artist?
Yes. Because it's right in front of me. Jussie Smollett.
Jussie Smollett. Yeah. Wait, wait.
Wasn't bad.
My prediction.
Really? You think he'll do? You know what? We've heard of crazy things. He was actually more exciting than Maroon 5, but he came out on stage Saturday, first time since the alleged attack in Chicago, and after the hour-long set, talked about it.
These last 4 days, I would not have been able to get through it without obviously my family, but also the love and support for all y'all.
And Dan, just so you know, he checked with a doctor in Chicago and LA to make sure he was physically okay enough to perform on stage, and they both gave him the green light.
Yeah, bruised ribs, not broken ribs, as TMZ first reported. The ribs were downgraded to bruised. He is the gay Tupac. That's not me saying it. That's him saying it.
Yeah, he said that during the 1 hour set.
I was bruised, but my ribs were not cracked. They were not broken.
And that's exactly what my source told me. He said, this whole thing, the report that he cracked a rib, it's not true.
So TMZ has had it wrong. They've had it wrong from the beginning.
And that's why I called him on Friday, because I was so upset that the way that they've been covering this. It's been so irresponsible.
Michelle Malkin tweeted out about that whole gay Tupac comment. Tupac beat a rapper with a baseball bat, shot 2 cops, punched a movie director, convicted of sexual assault, robbed and shot 5 times, and murdered in a drive-by. So, again, how is it you're the gay Tupac? I guess he thinks he's iconic, and maybe that's the comparison. Also, this from Rafer Weigel on Friday. He tweeted out, Chicago police source telling Fox 32 in Chicago that Smollett was seen on surveillance still holding his Subway sandwich when he returned to the building after the alleged attack. So somebody splashes bleach or some other chemical on you, tries to wrap a noose around you, beat you up. Then you scramble, gather up your foot long, and then head home for a bite to eat.
Because he was out for a foot long or 6 inches, whatever it was. But yeah, that's not, no. And especially if somebody threw a substance on me, I think that the substance might get near the food, and I would leave the sandwich. That would be the first thing I would do. Or I would call police. He addressed the doubters, the haters, as he said.
The hateful rhetoric that gets passed around, it has to stop. And it has to, but guess what? It stops with the people that believe in love. We have that power.
Well, he's not too loving if you read his tweets, especially from last year. The vitriol and hateful rhetoric addressed toward President Trump. And I'm surprised he didn't get his Twitter yanked.
In times of trauma or hurt or grief, we still have a responsibility to lead with love.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Dan, if we don't lead with love, we're going to die.
I know. And I'm all for it. I'm all for love, so stipulated. Now, could you explain why you won't cooperate with Chicago police to identify the people who led with hate?
He said they had ski masks on. And he said on Friday that he has been, this quote-unquote, I've been consistent on every level. Really? That's not according to police.
You haven't been consistent with your story, and you haven't been cooperative with police. And Eddie Johnson saying on Friday that the police are making gains in the investigation, though, of course, he won't disclose what those gains are. And that's, by the way...
For the sake of the case.
Right. And that's, by the way, with overwhelming resources being brought to bear, certainly that are normally brought to bear for, say, a murder victim. Again, talking to a friend of mine in the Chicago Police Department over the weekend about what the protocol is for detectives assigned to a case like this. Yes. I actually asked assigned to a murder case, and here's the protocol. Initially, a team goes out to process the scene, interview witnesses, canvass the area for video, more witnesses. That could be 5 or 6 detectives. The case is then assigned to 2 detectives and followed up on each shift by 2 for a total of 6, so you have someone working on it round the clock. As time passes, it goes down to just 1 or 2 detectives that are assigned as the primaries. So
we said that last week. I mean, normally you get 2, but it's for a homicide. They have 20, and he didn't even get roughed. I mean, he didn't even get roughed up. And they have 20 detectives?
Well, first of all, you normally get 6 initially because you're working on it 24/7, as he mentioned. That's the protocol. 2 per shift. Now, and then it is
Like
watered down to 2. But how it actually works these days,
What?
according to a homicide detective at CPD, nowadays this is a one-man job with maybe one more helping. My last few murders have been only 2 people, maybe 3 if there is a lot to do or someone in custody. So that's how it actually happens in a murder case. And you got 20 on this case. And what have they been able to identify in spite of the lack of cooperation from Smollett? Not much to substantiate a story. So these are legitimate questions that should be asked. And the answers from Smollett should be required to be more than let love lead the way. I mean, it's a real issue. If this is all fabricated, or if he was in some kind of scrape, obviously, but it's not what he's saying and he knowingly lied, then he should be charged for filing a false police report.
Well, according to Second City Cop, they said that it was probably a grinder date gone wrong, which is
whatever. I want to know what the facts are. I want to know what the truth is here.
All right. Thanks so much for making us part of your morning. Thanks, of course, to Justin Kosik's off today. So we have Quinn McCarthy, Keith Conrad's back in the saddle, and John Benedek. Thank you so much. We're back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Now here is Mike Scott.
A woman in critical condition, victims of a fatal drive-by shooting.
Dramatically increased our deficits.
He's still Virginia's governor. I'm